Live on a Friday night, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the opener of a three-game series as the Grizzlies take on the Tahoe Knight Monsters. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's the opener of a three-game series. The Grizzlies extend their road trip, and it's the seventh of 9 straight games away from Maverick Center as the Grizzlies are meeting Tahoe for the first time this season. The Grizzlies, they got 3 out of 6 standings points last week against the Wichita Thunder, as the Grizzlies had 2 straight overtime games against Wichita. Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, the Grizzlies got an overtime game winner from Maxim Barbashev. He scored 2 goals that night, and he's a +6 in his last 7 games. On Friday, January 2nd, the Grizzlies lost 7-6 in overtime. Danny Genev and John Gillette each had 2 goals. Riley Connors and Tyler Gratton each found the back of the net. In the rubber match this past Saturday, January 3rd, Colbien scored Utah's lone goal, but Wichita scored 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third, and they cruised to a 6-1 victory. Should be an interesting one tonight, as the Grizzlies and Knight Monsters aren't all that familiar with each other. At least this season, they met quite a bit last year. Grizzlies do have a standing point in 5 of their last 7 games, and they have been solid on the road. As away from Maverick Center, they have a record of 10-7-2. Well, the league named its all-star team earlier this week, and the Grizzlies do have a representative. Every team in the league does have an all-star representative. The Atlanta Gladiators are the only team in the league that has 2 all-star representatives. We'll talk about the Grizzlies all-star representative and also go over the history of Grizzlies in terms of all-star games in the leagues they've been in, whether it's been the ECHL over the last 20 years, the 4 years they're in the AHL, and their 6-year run in the International Hockey League. Got a good goaltending matchup tonight. Dylan Wells will get the start for Utah. He's got a record of 7-8-2. And for the Tahoe Knight Monsters, it's going to be Jordan Paperny, who has a record of 7-3-0-1 and a .916 save percentage. Grizzlies will be rolling with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight. Should be a ton of fun, as I'm hanging out in the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies are in the Pacific time zone, taking on the Tahoe Knight Monsters in the opener of a 3-game series. Don't forget, we're just 7 days away from the Grizzlies' next home game as they begin a 3-game series with the Kansas City Mavericks. We'll come back and talk about Grizzlies and the All-Star game on the other side as we're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 15 minutes from now over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Utah Grizzlies forward Danny Genev was named to the 2026 Warrior ECHL All-Star Classic, and that's going to be in Allen, Texas on Monday, January 19th, and that's after the Grizzlies play a 3-game and 3-day series with the Kansas City Mavericks. Genev's been one of the best rookies in the league. In fact, if the season ended today, he would be a top candidate for the league's Rookie of the Year award and certainly would be first-team All-League. Danny leads All-League rookies with 27 points. He has 11 goals and 16 assists. He is tied for second among rookies in assists and third overall in shots on goal with 115 and second among rookies. He's one of only 2 players in the league to have 2 hat tricks this season. Remember, he had 3 goals on October 30th against Jacksonville, and then on the road the game before the Christmas break on December 21st, he had 3 goals against the Oilers, and all 3 of those goals came in the third period. He does lead Utah with 8 multiple-point games, and he's the first Grizzly forward to make the All-Star team since Caleb Herbert back in 2019. As the Grizzlies have had a pretty good run of defensemen going to the All-Star game. Genev is the first since Caleb Herbert back in 2019, and that ends a run of 5 straight defensemen representing the Grizzlies in the All-Star Classic. There wasn't an All-Star game last year, but they did name an All-Star team, and Derek Daschke did represent the Grizzlies. Daschke was actually in a transaction earlier today as he was recalled from Kalamazoo over to the AHL's Abbotsford Canucks. 2 years ago, it was Kyle Mayhew. It was first-team All-League, and Mayhew was actually the League Defenseman of the Year award winner last season with the Fort Wayne Comets. He was outstanding 2 years ago with the Grizzlies. He was the Grizzlies All-Star representative back in 2024. Andrew Nilsson had an outstanding first half of the 2022-23 season, and he was named to the 2023 All-Star Classic. Remember, Nilsson had a 6-assist game against the Kansas City Mavericks, and that was a big reason as to why he was an All-Star. Obviously, Charles-Edouard Dasty, we've been talking about him for quite some time this season, of course, because he is in the NHL with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He was part of the 2022 All-Star game. And the pound for pound, the toughest defenseman in the league, Taylor Richard, represented the Grizzlies back in 2020 in the All-Star Classic, even though I'm not sure he actually went to the All-Star game, as unfortunately some of those years the Grizzlies had a game on the same day that the league was hosting its All-Star game, which is certainly kind of an odd thing. But nevertheless, luckily, there's no games in the league on January 19th, and hopefully Danny Genev will be able to go to Allen, Texas, and represent the Grizzlies well, as the Grizzlies do have a pretty good run of All-Star representatives. I think back to 2010 when the Grizzlies had 3 representatives in the All-Star game. Vic Bartley, who spent a little bit of time in the National Hockey League, as, of course, the all-time leading scorer in Grizzlies history, Ryan Kanasowicz and A.J. Perry, reach All-Star representatives. We'll go over year to year the All-Star representatives for the Grizzlies during the first and second intermissions. So congratulations to Danny Genev. Obviously, there was more than one Grizzly that was deserving of an All-Star nod, but based on how they do it, each team had exactly one All-Star representative, except for the Atlanta Gladiators, who had 2 All-Star representatives because they acquired somebody else's All-Star representative in a trade between the time of the team being selected and the team being announced. And so Atlanta has 2 All-Star representatives. Everybody else has just 1. When we come back, we'll go over the lineups for both teams as we're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Faceoffs in about 10 minutes from now over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. We're hanging out in the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center as the Grizzlies begin a 3-game series with the Tahoe Knight Monsters. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Utah Grizzlies, who are led by first-year head coach John Buchanan. The assistant coaches are Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilley. Director of Hockey Operations is Eric Hudson. The athletic trainer is Brooke Timoney, and the equipment manager is DJ McFarland. Unfortunately, we don't have the starters for either side, but we do have the lines, or at least the projected lines for both clubs. The Grizzlies are 13-14-3 on the year, but they've been a good road club as they are 10-7-2 away from Maverick Center, where they've outscored opponents 70-67. Getting the start in net will be Dylan Wells. He's a former Edmonton Oilers draft pick. He is 6'2" and 190 pounds. This will be his 18th appearance this year. Wells has a record of 7-8-2 with one shutout. He has an .886 save percentage and a 3.86 goals against average. Dominic Bassey is the backup. The Grizzlies are going with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight. Scratches for the Grizzlies include defensemen Avery Winslow and Christian Felton, and forwards Rylan Kovacevic with Luke Manning and Christoph Filion. I believe we do now have the lineup, the starters for the Grizzlies. The starting forwards for Utah will include Stepan Timofeyev, who has 7 goals and 12 assists in 26 games. He is 5'9" and 190 pounds, although he looks taller than that. He's been a strong addition to the Grizzlies so far this season. Starting center will be Jack Ricketts, who has 8 goals and 9 assists in 24 games. Ricketts has been a consistent performer for the Grizzlies. He is 6'1" and 208 pounds. It's his first season as a pro. And the Grizzlies all-star representative Danny Genev is also going to be in the starting lineup. Genev leads Utah with 16 assists and 27 points this season. He's a first-year pro out of Penn State, native of Brooklyn, New York, and he's been a strong addition. Believe it or not, before the season, he was acquired in a trade from Idaho for future considerations. So you talk about one of the biggest additions that any club made all season. It's Danny Genev as Idaho. It's kind of odd that Idaho gave him up, considering that he might have been Idaho's best player in the 2 preseason games against the Grizzlies. So Genev will get the start along with Ricketts and Stepan Timofeyev. Other forward lines for the Grizzlies will include the captain, Tyler Granton, who has 6 goals and 10 assists in 24 games. He's a second-year pro who played his college hockey at both Penn State and Arizona State. Evan Friesen has a point in 7 of his last 9 games. He'll be in there wearing number 11. And Reed Lebster, who is tied for 4th in the league with 15 goals this season. He's also tied for 2nd with 4 game-winning goals. Lebster's been an outstanding performer. He had 1 assist on Saturday against Wichita. Lebster is 6 feet and 187 pounds. You also see Neil Shea lined up with Riley Connors and Maxime Barbashev, and that's been a strong forward line over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, Shea's a consistent performer. He has a point in 16 of his last 19 games. For Riley Connors, he has 5 points, 3 goals and 2 assists, and 15 shots in his last 4 games. And Maxime Barbashev is a +6 in his last 7 games, and he has 5 points in his last 6 games. We'll also see John Gillette lined up with the newest Grizzly, Sean Kennedy. Kennedy just signed with the Grizzlies yesterday. He had played with the SPHL's Birmingham Bulls earlier this season, scoring 6 goals and 15 assists in 27 games. Kennedy played at Elmira College from 2020 through 2024, scoring 45 goals and 54 assists. He appeared in 1 game with the Tulsa Oilers during the 2023-24 season. Kennedy will wear number 17 for the Grizzlies, and he'll be on the 4th forward line with John Gillette, and there will be a center rotated into that forward line. But the fourth line for the Grizzlies does play quite a few minutes, so I think we'll see a lot of Sean Kennedy, not only tonight, but all weekend over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. So that's the 11 forwards for the Grizzlies game. The start will be Timofeyev, Ricketts, and Genev. The starting defensive pairing is going to be Luke Salem, who is 5'10", 181 pounds out of Los Angeles, California. And he's going to be paired up with big Noah Gansky, who is 6'7", and 209 pounds. So Salem and Gansky will be the starting defensive pairing. We will see Aiden Hansen-Bukata, who has 1 goal and 15 assists in 26 games. He'll be paired up with Colby Enns, who leads the Grizzlies in plus-minus this season at +6. And we will also see Sage Weinstein paired up with Robbie Stucker. Stucker's a +5 this season. He's a +6 in his last 7 games. Christian Felton is a scratch. This will be the first game this season that he has missed. And so Felton will definitely be missed. He's been normally paired up with Sage Weinstein this season. So that's the lineup for the Utah Grizzlies. The lights are out over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. When we come back in 15 seconds, we'll give you the lineup of the Tahoe Knight Monsters. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies lineup. Grizzlies hockey. Let's go over the lineup for the Tahoe Knight Monsters, who have a record of 18, 12, 1-2. It's their second year of existence. They're led by second-year head coach Alex Lowe. The starting goaltender is Jordan Paperny. This will be his 12th appearance this season. Paperny has a record of 7-3-0-1 with a .916 save percentage and 3.32 goals against average. Don't have the starters for the Knight Monsters as of yet, but we do know Paperny is going to get the start in net. And for the Knight Monsters, you got to watch out for forward Trent Swick. Swick has a goal in 6 straight games, so he's been a very strong performer for the Knight Monsters this season. Watch out for Trent Swick, who has 15 goals this season. Devin Poliari has 13 goals. He has 15 goals and 13 assists. Poliani, and will be wearing number 65 for the Knight Monsters. Also got to watch out for Casey Bailey, who's the reigning league player of the week. Bailey has 14 goals and 19 assists and a +8 rating in 33 games. Also watch out for Mike O'Leary, who has 17 points in 27 games. He'll be wearing number 10 for the Knight Monsters. There's one former Grizzly in the Tahoe lineup, and that is forward Blake Wells, who's making his 10th appearance of the season. Wells played in 4 games over the last 2 seasons with the Grizzlies. So it should be an interesting one. Some returning players from last season. Jake McGrew has 8 goals and 6 assists in 23 games. And the former NHLer, Luke Adam, will be the Tahoe captain tonight. He has 7 goals and 12 assists in 30 games. Nate Callan is a +13. He's one of 6 defensemen for Alex Lowe's crew. When we come back, we'll have face-off on the other side. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
It's a great night for hockey as 2 big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Tahoe Knight Monsters for the first time this season. It's the opener of a 3-game set, and we'll see if the Grizzlies can get off to a fast start. They've got a pretty strong forward line that's getting the start with Danny Genev and Jack Ricketts along with Stepan Timofeyev. Getting the start in net will be Dylan Wells. He leads Utah with 7 victories this season. Looks like Luke Adam is one of the starters for Tahoe, and tonight he is lined up with Casey Bailey, the reigning league player of the week, and Jake McGrew, who has 8 goals and 6 assists in 23 games. McGrew, a California native. As referee is Emil Sharon. The linesmen are Austin Bove and Will Anderson. Grizzlies appear to be skating from right to left as we attempt to see the game on Flow Sports. We do ask and beg for a little bit of patience from the people tuned in on YouTube, as unfortunately we are at the mercy of what is a very shady camera. Looks like Ricketts will take the draw for Utah against Casey Bailey. As 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock, Grizzlies are in a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. Tahoe is in kind of a light blue jersey with the white shoulders, white numbers, white lettering in the back. Pretty sharp-looking jersey. As Bailey crouches down, takes the draw against Jack Ricketts. Ricketts, first-year pro. He was outstanding for 3 straight years at the college level. Draw won by Utah. We're underway. Timofeyev gets tripped up near the Tahoe blue line as the Knight Monsters backing out deep in their own zone. As they'll slide it ahead, Knight Monsters out towards center ice. Luke Adam with a right wing feed that ricochets off the boards. Luke Salem gets towards center ice and dumps it in. Timofeyev back behind his net as the Knight Monsters roll it along the far side. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. Puck goes all the way down towards Dylan Wells, who plays behind his net. He'll tap it behind him for Luke Salem. Salem will tap it off the boards, and he'll get it back. It gets towards Noah Gansky, moves the head to Genev, the all-star representative, crosses center ice. Right wing, steps over the offensive line. He'll drop it off as Ricketts gets it back towards Genev, who loses his balance. As Timofeyev back behind Tahoe's net. Their goaltender, Jordan Paperny. Tahoe wins the one-on-one battle. Now they'll slide it ahead. Knight Monsters backing out to the left side. Now they try to get it back towards the middle of the ice, and it's poked away by Utah. Tahoe gets it back in their own zone as we played a minute. Nobody's taken a shot yet. As the Knight Monsters are offside on a blue line to blue line pass. They decide to play it, though, as referee had waved, put his arm in the air, but it looked like both teams tagged up. As Grizzlies get pinned towards the near boards, Evan Friesen back towards the far side as goes towards center ice. The captain, Tyler Gratton, collides with the Knight Monster, and now the Grizzlies backing out into their own zone. As Colby Enns gets it ahead, puck behind Tahoe's net. Tahoe allows 38.5 shots per game this season. Reed Lepster will bounce it towards the right corner. Puck is taken off the wall by number 23, Brendan Dowler, who just signed with Tahoe earlier today. As the Knight Monsters get it back in, Wells will slide it towards the left side. And if this is the camera angle we're going to get all series, it's going to be a long weekend. As the Knight Monsters get it in, Sage Weinstein looks over both shoulders. Normally he's paired up with Christian Felton, but Felton is a scratch tonight, and Weinstein will be paired up with Robbie Stucker all week. Sean Kennedy's on the ice for his first shift as a Grizzly, just signed yesterday. He's with the SPHL's Birmingham Bulls. Knight Monsters get it out towards center ice. Anthony Collins, the veteran, loses the puck. Kennedy gets it head towards John Gillette at the Tahoe line. Now Kennedy dumps it in, and the whistle apparently blows as the Grizzlies are offside with 17:43. That's the time remaining in this first period. So Draw's going to come back towards neutral ice. No shots taken as of yet. A little bit of a feeling out process here as everybody getting on the ice for the first time. For the Grizzlies have had some time off as they last played 6 days ago against Wichita, where Utah lost 6-1. Riley Connors will take the draw. He wins it. Salem gets it across towards Robbie Stucker, who will reel it around the boards, or as an actual, a roulette wheel towards the nearest circle of both zones, as Neil Shea ricochets the puck around the wall as Maxime Barbashev gets it up top. Robbie Stucker will bounce it back in deep. Somebody plays it off the screen over in the left corner. Now it goes to center ice. This is kind of like trying to put a puzzle together, and you're missing half the pieces. That's unfortunately the video feed we've got so far as the Grizzlies cross center ice as Connors accelerates towards the Tahoe line. Puck is tapped away by a Knight Monster. Now Tahoe comes back the other way. Knight Monsters back towards the left wing. Now behind Utah's net is Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Gets back towards the near side. Now Luke Adam can't play the puck as Noah Gansky gets it. Adam tried to lift Gansky's stick as he crosses center ice, and Gansky will whip it along the roulette wheel as the puck goes towards the near side as the Knight Monsters get it back towards center ice. Over skating the puck is C.J. Valerian, number 3. Grizzlies skate towards the right side. Centering pass out towards Paperny. down in front. There's literally a fan standing in front of our view as the Night Monsters out towards center ice. Nobody's taken an official shot yet, 3.5 minutes in. As it does look like there's a bit of a feeling out process between the clubs. As the Night Monsters back towards deep in their own zone, far side, they'll zip it out, cross-ice pass, and it looks like it's down all the way for an icing as the whistle blows with 16-18 left in the first. So John's going to come back towards Jordan Paperny, second year with the Night Monsters. Paperny is 6'1", 185 pounds. His hometown is Edmonton, Alberta. Paperny's been a strong winner as a Night Monster. This year he's got a record of 7-3-1 with a .916 save percentage. Evan Friesen will take the draw. He's got a point in 7 of his last 9 games. Friesen in 30 games this season has 7 goals and 7 assists. He's appeared in every game for the Grizzlies this year. It's game 31 of 72, and it's already the Grizzlies' 20th road game of the year. Grizzlies won the draw, but it goes back towards neutral ice as the Grizzlies skate from right to left as we attempt to see the game on Flow Sports Tahoe from left to right. Kind of a small building over at Tahoe Blue Event Center, holds about 4,300. As the Night Monsters out towards center ice rink, wide feed, angle left off a stick, and Craig McCabe will dump it in as the Grizzlies back towards the near side. As towards the right side, McCabe will move it back towards number 38, Justin Gustafson. As Gustafson dances around, now he gets it towards number 76, Trent Swick. That's the guy that's got a goal in 6 straight games. Grizzlies take the puck. They'll get out towards center ice. Lebster dangles back and forth, steps over the offense line, bounces one towards Paperny, who catches it on the hop about ankle high. He holds on with 15:37 left in the first. And that might be the first official shot of this game. And it is. The Grizzlies take the first shot 4.5 minutes into the game. So the feeling out process continues. For Tahoe, they allow 38.5 shots per game, which ranks 30th in the league. They do take 32.7, which ranks 8th in the league. Grizzlies have been a strong team in terms of getting shots off. As Grizzlies, over their last 14 games, are averaging 35 shots per game. So Grizzlies are getting their chances, and it looks like they're going to get their chances here this weekend. But it looks like both teams just trying to get a sense of one another, feel the strengths and weaknesses of each club. Tahoe is a team that is pretty strong offensively. They're third in the league, averaging 3.58 goals per game. Now Tahoe skates in, right side, righty shot, and a score. Jake Derflinger gets his third of the year as the Night Monsters won the draw. Derflinger, sporting a mustache, raced along the right wing, got to the right circle, and he fired it stick side past Dylan Wells. And just like that, the Night Monsters score on their first shot as there's 15:23 left in the first. Derflinger got towards the right side as they try to show the replay. Derflinger towards the right circle, and he just zipped it past Wells. So draw's going to be at center ice. Jake Derflinger is 5'9", 174 pounds. Played previously in the EIHL with the Manchester Storm, native of Walnut Creek, California. 27 years old. He gets the Night Monsters on the board. Both teams have a shot, and Tahoe's found the back of the net. Grizzlies won the draw as Weinstein will tap it off the boards towards Shea as he tries to get it to Connors, but he gets curled in front as the Night Monsters now bounces back to center ice as Tahoe regathers it in their own zone. As those saucer went across, puck towards the near corner. Big time hit delivered by a Grizzly. Now Barbashev drops it for Shea. He's just outside the left circle. And the Grizzlies offensive zone will push towards the corner. The only guy there was a Night Monster. That's number 10, Michael Leary. Now Shea, left side, shot. That one goes wide. Puck slides all the way along the far wing boards deep into the Grizzlies zone. Wells cuts it off behind his net, and he'll drop it for Weinstein. As we're skating 5-on-5, Weinstein, rink wide feed, angle right. And Genev back towards Ricketts. Ricketts gets hit from behind Tahoe's net by C.J. Valerian. Puck towards the left wing, and it goes to center ice, slides past Genev into the Grizzlies zone. Genev accepts the puck. He's got 27 points this season to lead all league rookies. He'll move it out to center ice as skating across the offensive line. Timo Fayette will drop it for Genev. Right side, lefty shot, saved by Paperny, and he holds on. And after the whistle, Anthony Collins, who's one of the tough guys in the league, goes after Stepan Timofeyev out in front of Tahoe's net. So Danny Genev with a shot, and that's certainly not unusual. He came into play with 115 shots on goal, which ranks third overall in the league and second among league rookies. So Grizzlies up to 2 shots. Reed Lebster had 1, and Genev now with a shot. And Genev and Lebster have been 2 of Utah's strongest offensive players this season. Ricketts will take the draw for Utah against number 12, Blake Wells. Wells, a former Grizzly. He got hurt at the start of last season. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a season ender. Wells does show a little bit of promise and a little bit of grit, 6'2", 200 pounds. And he's going to be a good one for Tahoe as the Night Monsters cross center ice and dump it in. Unfortunately, with this camera feed, and if you're tuned in on YouTube, we may not be able to give you as many of the details as we'd like. So we're probably going to go with more of a TV style call here as Gansky's got an A on his sweater, gets out towards center ice. Left wing, Timofeyev gets to Geneva, middle of the ice. He'll take a lefty shot, and that's sticked away by Brendan Kapchek, and it goes out of play with 13:53. That's the time remaining in the first period. Tahoe leads 1-0 on Jake Derflinger's third of the year. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Tahoe 1, Utah 0. As Jake Derflinger scored 4:37 in with Craig McCabe and Michael Leary gained the assists. 13:53 is the time remaining. Grizzlies have outshot the Night Monsters 2-1 as Reed Lebster and Danny Genev each have one shot for Utah. Opener of a 3-game weekend series as Evan Friesen will take the drives out there with Lebster and Grattan. Draw one by Tahoe. Grizzlies are in a white jersey this weekend as Tahoe. Rink wide feed angle left, right goes tape to tape. And a righty shot, and then was taken by Craig McCabe and saved by Wells. Now coming back across center ice is Friesen. He'll stop over in the right circle, gets it to Lebster, skates in, righty shot. And that one's blocked before it gets towards Paperny as Tyler Grattan's net front. Grattan battling with a Night Monster. Grizzlies towards the left wing as Robbie Stucker dances around. And so feed it towards the left goal line, back towards Grattan, lefty shot. Glove saved by Paperny, and he holds on. Good look for Tyler Grattan in the left circle as he fired a one-timer. Grattan has 6 goals and 10 assists this season. 13:22 is left in the first. Grizzlies have now outshot the Night Monsters 3-1. Same 3 forwards on the ice. Friesen out there with Grattan and Reed Lebster. There's a draw one by Utah as Grattan gets towards the corner for Lebster, skates along horizontally as he gets cut off as he was skating towards Paperny. Now the puck bounces out towards center ice. Gansky in the area. Gansky has the puck. He's in the Grizzlies zone, dangling back and forth. He'll slide one across towards Weinstein. Weinstein, he'll throw a north-south pass along the left wing, looking for Grattan. It's sticked away by the Night Monsters. Tahoe skates in. Good poke check by Gansky. Now the Night Monsters set up shop as they skate towards the left wing. Centering pass, shot. And that one might have been gotten blocked by Wells. Shot was taken by Jordan Gustafson, who has 2 goals in 13 games this year. Gustafson with the puck. He'll slide it towards the right point. Now across left wing. Lefty shot, and that's blocked. It was hit by a Night Monster. Now left wing sharp-angled shot misses wide, and the puck will slide towards neutral ice. Brendan Kapchek, who was one of Tahoe's best defensemen last year, will tattoo it off the far boards. Tahoe couldn't reach it. Wells will cut it off at the side of his net. Salem head towards Sean Kennedy in his Grizzlies debut wearing number 17 over to Timofeyev. He tried to backhand it out in front towards Kennedy. And the Grizzlies score. Well, let's see. Well, we had a terrible view of this. The camera, it looked like there was a centering pass towards Paperny, and Paperny gloved it. As Grizzlies had the puck towards the left corner, tried to center it towards Kennedy, and then everybody stopped skating for a little bit. Apparently, Paperny gloved it and held on. 12:17 left in the first, and this is really, this camera's, it's worse than Tulsa, quite frankly. As Kennedy will take the draw, he has a laugh and a lighter moment with Mike O'Leary, as Kennedy had a pretty good college career at Elmira University, and in 4 years at Elmira, he had 45 goals. He had a pretty strong statistical output over at Elmira University. for 4 years. He played in one game with Tulsa at the latter portion of the 2023-24 season. Didn't play hockey last year, might have been battling an injury, but he's been a strong performer in the SPHL with Birmingham, and he gets an ECHL call-up. Looks like he's going to be a good one. As the Knight Monsters with a right wing feed, and it goes towards number 16, Derflinger, the goal scorer. It goes past him and all the way down for an icing, as Derflinger couldn't get a piece of it along the near point with 11:58 left in the first. Grizzlies have 4 shots, Tahoe with 2. So a draw is going to be in the right circles. The Grizzlies have a forward line of Maxime Barbashev with Riley Connors and Neil Shea. And statistically, that's been a very productive forward line for the Grizzlies as of late. Connors has 5 points in his last 4 games, 3 goals and 2 assists. He has 15 shots in his last 4 games and is a +3. Draw goes towards Shea, who fires towards the net. That's blocked by a Knight Monster. That's Nate Callan. As Callan will slide it ahead. Puck goes towards neutralize. It's knifed away by Utah. Getting it is Barbashev, who's played hard, and he's been a good performer over the last 3 weeks. Barbashev skates towards the right corner. Tried to drop it to an occupied Connors. Now Barbashev gets it up top. Grizzlies signed it towards Hanson Buchanan, left wing. His lefty shot's blocked. Ends down the middle of the ice. Righty shot saved by Paperny. Rebound goes towards the Knight Monsters, and they'll sky it out towards center ice. Gloved and dropped by Hanson Buchanan. He feeds a right wing pass out to Shea, who made sure he was at neutral ice. Now back towards AHB, who's got 15 assists this season. Down the middle for Enns, who whips it towards his right and gets redirected at neutral ice. Knight Monsters play it towards the left corner. As we played about 9 minutes, Tahoe leads 1-0 on Derflinger's 3rd of the year. As Tahoe is able to clear it into the Grizzly zone, no icing is playing. The puck is Wells behind his. He played it towards the side of his net. Now Blake Wells gets it. He'll center it, and righty shot's blocked. Now Wells with a shot, and he scores. And it's the former Grizzly, Blake Wells. That might be his first pro goal. And I don't know if it got redirected, but either way, the Knight Monsters have a 2-0 lead. If it's Wells' goal, it's his first as a pro. Save that puck, Jackson Hibbard, the former Grizzly equipment manager. They try to show a replay as Wells had the puck towards the right wing. Looked like maybe a centering pass. And, well, can't tell even on the replay who got the goal. As might have gotten there might have been another Knight Monster to get a piece of it. We'll check to see what the ECHL box score says. 10:56 is left in the first period, and now everybody stopped skating. They might take a second look at this. They might go to video replay, maybe looking for a kicking motion, maybe goaltender interference. Not sure, but it looks like everybody's skated towards their bench, and they might take an extra look at it on video replay. Grizzlies have outshot the Knight Monsters 5-3. I'm not sure if it would have been Wells' goal or if it would have been another Knight Monster. As now Noah Gansky and Anthony Collins will skate towards the penalty box area. Collins has been in this league for many, many years. He is 36 years old, 6'4", 216 pounds. Noah Gansky representing the Grizzlies. So it's either 2-0 Tahoe or 1-0 Tahoe. And I'm not sure, based on the replays we saw, I'm not sure there was anything that you could see that would say definitively one way or another whether there was something that would call the goal off or not. So Collins talking things over. There's Noah Gansky looking nearby. 2 big guys. Gansky goes 6'7". Collins is 6'4" and 216 pounds. Derflinger scored 4:37 in for Tahoe to make it a 1-0 game. Not sure if it's Blake Wells or if it's a centering pass towards somebody else. As referee comes out of the box and he signals a good goal. So it's 2-0 Tahoe with 10:56 left in the first. And nothing really there on a replay that would have said that it wasn't a goal. You know, maybe we're thinking about goaltender interference, maybe a kicking motion. But weren't able to spawn anything other than a Tahoe goal. As Wells looked for a centering pass. I'm not sure whether it's going to be Wells. And if it is Blake Wells getting the goal, then that would be his first pro goal. Remember, he had 4 games with the Grizzlies over the last 2 years. See what it looks like. It is Blake Wells that gets credited for the goal. So Wells gets his first pro goal. Save that puck, Jackson Hibbard, the former Grizzlies equipment manager, who's in his first season with Tahoe. Hibbard was the head equipment manager for the Grizzlies over the last 2 years, and before that was assistant equipment manager for a few years. And the newest Knight Monster, Brendan Dowler, gets the lone assist. Dowler in his Tahoe debut. As puck's now at center ice. after it looked like icing was called, but then the three officials got together and said no icing. And we will try to give you the details for the YouTube broadcast as we go. Unfortunately, this camera is just not very good. As Grizzlies win the draw, Weinstein sets up behind in front of Wells' net. Now the Grizzlies out towards center ice. Utah crosses center. Timofeyev whips it around the boards. Paperny looks over his right shoulder. Weinstein gets the puck, and he tried to get it towards Ricketts, who gets occupied by Wells. Wells, a physical player, as the puck slides towards Paperny. He covers up, and after the whistle, Blake Wells and Anthony Collins get after it with a couple Grizzlies as Ricketts and Timofeyev in the area. There's 10:25 left in the first period, and Tahoe leads 2-0 as they've scored 2 goals on 3 shots. Remembering Blake Wells, he was on the Grizzlies roster all year last season. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury at the very start of the year and just wasn't able to play. He had 4 years at UMass Lowell before transferring to American International College. He started the season in the SPHL with the Pensacola Ice Flyers, and he played in 14 games and had 7 points. It's his first goal in this league, and so Blake Wells, congratulations. He made it a 2-0 game, a native of Blackie, Alberta. As Grizzlies towards the left wing, Gratton will skate around Tahoe's net, and Gratton falls down. He runs into the referee as both guys collide and hit the ice. Tahoe over the offensive line as Jake McGrew tries to feed it towards a corner. As Tahoe's number 25, Casey Bailey, the reigning league player of the week, feeds it up top. Tahoe mishandles the puck. Now they'll just dump it into the far corner. Grizzlies will zip a north-south pass angle right. As Connors goes down, he'll slide it towards the end boards. Friesen, he gets cut off as Valerian gets physical. Valerian is 6'2", 216 pounds. Tahoe has plenty of beef on their roster. As the puck towards center ice, as Lepser gets pushed along the right shoulder, Tahoe dumps it in. As Wells plays behind his net, he'll slide it towards the far side. 9:25 on a moving clock, first period. Now the puck is in the Tahoe zone as the Knight Monsters have control of it. As Tahoe will race out towards center ice. Now the Knight Monsters will drop it in the left point. It's taken away by John Gillette, who will race towards the right side. Now tap it into the corner and chase after. He gets around one Knight Monster. Gillette collides with Kalen Taylor, the former Clarkson University captain. Puck to the left corner for Weinstein. Will skate horizontally towards the net, trying to chip it in, and it's blocked away by Paperny. Now the puck's towards the right wing. Grizzlies across towards Weinstein. I'll take a lefty shot, and that one goes wide. As he trying to go glove side on Paperny, as he was looking for the top corner. Now puck towards the left wing. As Ricketts dances around, he'll take a sharp angled shot, and that misses wide. Puck is kept in the right point by Robbie Stucker, dances back and forth. Now the puck goes back to neutral ice. Stucker dumps it in. The Grizzlies will make a line change, and Tahoe will switch up forwards as well. About 8.5 minutes left in the first period. Tahoe leads 2-0. Grizzlies have outshot Tahoe 6-3. As Riley Connors trips up a Knight Monster no call as Mike O'Leary sitting on his keister. He's got the puck laying under him, and now the whistle blows with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first. Timeout on the ice. Tahoe has goals from Jake Derflinger and Blake Wells. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Tahoe leads Utah 2-0. Jake Derflinger scored 4:37 in with McCabe, and O'Leary gained the assist. Blake Wells made it a 2-0 game. He scored 9:04, and it's his first league goal. Brendan Dowler with the assist. Dowler, the newest Knight Monster, he was signed earlier today. Grizzlies with 6 shots so far. Danny Geneva has 2. Colby Enns, Stepan Timofeyev, Reed Lebster, and Tyler Gratton each have 1. So draw is going to be over in the right circle. Riley Connors will take it against number 10, Michael Leary, who's 6'2", 201 pounds. Tahoe does have plenty of size and beef on their roster. It's the Knight Monsters, saucer at head. Aiden Hansen-Bucata taps into the left corner of the Knight Monster zone. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see this game on Flow Sports. As the Knight Monsters towards the left wing, they just get outside the Utah line. They'll roll it in. Wells behind his net. He'll drift the puck along the boards as it goes towards the right point. As Tahoe gets back towards O'Leary, he feeds it up top. One-timer, and that goes wide. That was taken by Craig McCabe, number 86, recent signee of the Knight Monsters. First game in this league so far this season for McCabe. As 2-on-2 battle as Aiden Hansen-Bucata gets after it with Jake Derflinger. Puck slides towards the far wing, and it's taken by Utah. Neil Shea will stride along the right wing. He'll cross center ice, and he'll chip it into the corner as Maxime Barbashev hits McCabe. McCabe's been active so far for Tahoe. Knight Monsters out towards center ice. They get back checked. Timing messed up, so Tahoe will just dump it in, and they'll make a change as the Grizzlies have it in the far corner. As Utah will pitch it ahead. Genev out towards center ice as he'll get it towards Jack Ricketts. Ricketts dumps it in. As Luke Salem will accelerate towards the left corner after a loose puck. He gets her about the same time as McCabe. Now the puck behind Tahoe's net. Genev off his stick. Timofeyev trying to get it up top. Didn't get much on it. Tahoe gets the puck and they'll race out to center ice. Rink-wide feed. Bounces to the right wing as Collins tried to extend his stick after it. Luke Salem will back it across to Gansky. Gansky will slide it ahead. Grizzlies out towards center ice. Ricketts will race over the offensive line. Just outside the right circle, he'll slide it around. Danny Genev has it in the left corner. Genev cycles it back to a spot he vacated. Timofeyev feeds it up top, but nobody was home in the left point. Weinstein will chase after it in the Grizzlies zone. 6.5 minutes left in the first period as Weinstein accelerates out towards center ice. Now he cuts down the middle. Onside gets to Genev right wing. Genev trying to center it to Timofeyev, and it's off a Tahoe stick. Tahoe gets the loose puck right wing. As McGrew, right side, trying to center it, and it tapped off Agansky's skate. Now towards the right wing, shot saved by Wells. Grizzlies will clear it out. Arm is raised by the linesman, and it's raised by Paperny, and icing is on Utah with 6:07 left in the first. So Draw's going to come back towards Dylan Wells. Spent a little bit of time up in the AHL with the Tucson Roadrunners. Danny Genev, the Grizzlies All-Star representative, will go over kind of an historical perspective of the Grizzlies All-Star representatives during the first intermission. Interestingly enough, the Grizzlies have had defensemen in this decade make the All-Star team before Genev. 5 straight defensemen, left wing, righty shot saved by Wells off the draw. That shot was taken by Devin Poliani. Poliani wearing number 65. He's been one of Tahoe's most productive forwards this season with 15 goals and 13 assists in 33 games. As before Genev, there was 5 straight defensemen selected to the All-Star team. Last year, it was Derek Daschke. Even though there was no All-Star game, they selected a team. 2 years ago, it was Kyle Mayhew. 3 years ago in the 2023 season, it was Andrew Nilsson, who had a 6 assist a game against Kansas City, and that was a big part as to why he made the All-Star club. And obviously, Charles-Edward Dastu, the current Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman, he was an All-Star back in 2022. And 2020, pound-for-pound, toughest defenseman I've ever seen, Taylor Richard. We got some fun Taylor Richard stories we'll tell during the first intermission. There's about 6 minutes left in the first period. Grizzlies trying to get the drop. Now Enns gets it. It looked like Enns was accepting the puck over in the far corner, but it slid a little bit more towards the end wall. Grizzlies dump it in, and icing is on Utah as the arm is enthusiastically raised by one linesman and one referee as there's 5:51 left in the first period. So face-off back towards Dylan Wells. It's a baseball-style 3-game series, and it's the opener of this 3-game set. Remember, tomorrow will be an 8 o'clock Mountain Time Zone start, and then Sunday afternoon, a puck will drop around 4 o'clock. First meeting this season between the Grizzlies and Knight Monsters. These teams will meet 9 times during the regular season, 6 of the 9 at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Left wing shot is blocked away by Wells. Now the Grizzlies have it back deep in their own zone. Colby Enns, the first-year pro, is about 6'2" and 200 pounds. He has the puck as Wells looks over his left shoulder as Enns will zip the puck towards the far side. Grizzlies skate from right to left during the period. Gratton gets a good shoulder check from a Knight Monster. Tahoe gets the puck as Jordan Gustafson will race across the right wing. He gets around ends, overskates the puck. Gustafson gets it back. He'll slide it towards Casey Bailey, who was looking for a centering pass. It bounced off the Wells. Now the Knight Monsters drop it back for the left point. Righty shot, saved by Wells. Puck still loose. Colby Enns gets it. He'll feed it towards the far side. Now back to the middle of the ice. Grizzlies with a long-range feed. Tape to tape towards Tyler Gratton, left wing. His shot, and he fanned on it. Nate Callan might have gotten a stick in the way. Callan leads Tahoe with a +13 rating this season. Puck towards the left point, kept in by Salem. Over to Janaea, one-timer. That one goes wide. Paperny might have gotten a piece of it with his blocker. As Utah looked for a centering pass, Tahoe picked it off. Knight Monsters cross center ice. Grizzlies have outshot Tahoe 6-4. That's Tahoe. That is a 2-0 lead on goals from Jake Derflinger and Blake Wells. Tahoe moves it out towards center ice. Salem will push it towards his right. Grizzlies over the offensive line. Janaev accelerates towards the corner. Now he stops, trying to get it back up top towards Stucker. Now to the middle of the ice. Gillette with a lefty shot, and that's blocked away by the stick of Mike O'Leary. Now the puck from the end board slides towards Paperny, and he covers up with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first. Tahoe leads 2-0. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw on the other side. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise. And we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw as they look to get on the board as Tahoe leads 2-0. Tahoe's been one of the best offensive clubs in the league. They're averaging 3.58 goals per game, which ranks third in the league. They're 21st, though, in goals against at 3.2. So it could be the Grizzlies. They'll get their opportunities. Can they find a way to capitalize them and against a good goaltender in Jordan Paperny? Tahoe wins the draw. Nate Callum races across center ice, surrounded by 3 Grizzlies. No backhanded in deep as Weinstein towards the left corner. He gets a rough ride from Connor Merritt. Merritt is 6'1", 174 pounds. Now Neil Shea gets on the near side. Shea will spin the puck out towards Barbashev off his stick. As Callum races across center ice, he gets back checked. Callum will drop it towards the left corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. Blake Wells, who scored his first pro goal, has a glance off his stick. Connors gets around Collins. As Connors lost the puck about center ice. Wells is on the back check as the Knight Monsters left wing. As they try to dump it in, it kicks off of Stucker's skate. Stucker was a teammate with Blake Wells at the end of the 2023-24 season. Stucker off his stick. He gets it back as he's along the near side as he blocks out Merritt for the puck. As taken it away is Jake McGrew. He gets cut across the offense line down the middle, and he trips over the blue line. As Grizzlies get it in deep. The benches are on the near side of the camera here in Tahoe. As Timo Feyev spun it to the middle of the ice. It's picked off by the Knight Monsters. They get it to the right corner. Taking the puck is Hanson Mukata, and he'll bounce it towards the near wall as Tahoe gets it across, but the puck goes out to center ice. The Knight Monsters will tap it off the boards. Timo Feyev trying to get it. Luke Adam, the former Buffalo Sabre, he'll skate towards his blue line. Now he feeds a left wing pass. It goes tape to tape. A Grizzly behind the score bug delivers a big-time hit, but it looked like that hurt the Grizzly more than it hurt the Knight Monster, and that's Ricketts. Ricketts is holding his arm as right wing, righty shot, saved by Wells. And after the whistle, Casey Bailey really goes after Reed Webster. If that's not a penalty, I don't know what is. As Casey Bailey with 2 strong cross checks towards Reed Webster after Dylan Wells made the save with 2:42 left in the first. Looks like kind of a modest-sized crowd over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Not a very big building. Kind of about a similar size to what they have at Mountain America Center over in Idaho Falls. As there's 2:42 left in the first. So draw should be in the Grizzlies zone. As Evan Friesen will take the draw. Noah Gansky on the ice. Gansky and Shea are wearing the A's on their sweater. And Tyler Gratton, obviously the Grizzlies captain. Utah's missing Luke Manning for the 6th straight game. Christian Felton also a scratch for the Grizzlies, as is Avery Winslow and Rylan Kovacevic. And Christoph Filion is out tonight. So 5 scratches for the Grizzlies. Are rolling with 17 skaters. Gratton has the puck. He gets a shoulder check from Craig McCabe. Puck out towards center ice. Gratton loses control of the puck. He collides with Gustafson, and Gustafson takes a seat at center ice. Big time hit delivered by the Grizzlies captain. Puck off a couple sticks. Now left wing backhand feed as Tahoe will slide it deep into the Grizzly zone towards the end boards as Salem avoids a check. He falls down, gets back to his feet as he tried to get around Gustafson. Now Salem gets it head towards center ice. Friesen accelerates towards the offensive zone. He'll drop it for Salem. Salem with a hot centering pass that goes off the stick of Reed Webster. Webster gets a rough ride along the boards from Poliani. As Poliani delivered a big hit. He's had a good season. Salem delivers a hit on the right corner. Now the Grizzlies will race towards Neutrais. Timofeyev will pitch it to somebody off the screen. Tahoe gets it at their blue line. Minute and a half left in the first period. Tahoe leads 2-0. Timofeyev battles with the Night Monster along the near wing boards at Neutrais. Now the puck goes into the Grizzlies zone, but icing is on Tahoe with 1:31 left in the first. So we'll see if Utah can get some momentum here late in the first period. Tahoe's been a strong first period club. If you count the 2 goals tonight, they're outscoring opponents 40-24 in the first periods this year. It's the 34th game for Tahoe this season. They've now scored first in 22 of them. Grizzlies have scored first in 14 of 31 games this season. John Kennedy will take the draw for Utah. Kennedy, a pretty versatile forward that's got a good skill set. I think he's going to be a pretty strong addition to the Grizzlies. Utah wins the draw. John Gillette towards the left corner as he tried to feed it out in front on a hot pass. And puck bounced off the stick towards the right wing. Grizzlies trying to get it across. It's picked off at center ice, and Night Monster gets tripped up in the high slot. Now Tahoe races over the offensive line. We haven't had a single penalty that we know of here so far tonight. Kennedy will ricochet it off the boards. Grizzlies out towards center ice. He'll drop it for Kennedy. Will skeet towards the left circle. As Kennedy, he loses the puck as he was trying to get around C.J. Valerian, who's a big 6'2 defenseman. The Night Monsters ahead. Gansky delivers a tap on Jake Derflinger. Gansky takes control of the puck, skates around Utah's net. Puck towards the right wing as it's in the Grizzlies zone. Derflinger, sharp-angled shot, misses everybody horizontally as it just went through the crease. 45 seconds left in the period. Stucker holds on to a Night Monster. Timofeyev gets physical behind Utah's net. Puck slides towards the right goal line as Tahoe will race back towards the center of the ice. Now to the high slot. Lefty shot goes wide. Now Tahoe, right wing lefty shot saved by Wells. Everybody hacking away. Grizzlies clear it towards the right corner. 25 seconds left in the period. Puck goes up top. Kalen Taylor, the former Clarkson captain, gets to the right side. Now right circle. Larry swings and misses on a lefty shot from the right wing. Puck towards the left corner as Derflinger gets the puck, skates towards the left point. He'll drop it off as the Night Monsters towards the left circle. Now they'll drop it back towards the left wing, towards the circle. Night Monsters, lefty shot. That one goes wide as Wells extended his left pad towards it. And that will do it for 20 minutes over at Tahoe Blue Event Center as Jake Derflinger scored 4.5 minutes into the first. And then Blake Wells with his first league goal, as well as the former Grizzly, scored 9:04 in, with Brendan Dowler getting the assists. In terms of the shot count, Grizzlies outshot Tahoe 7-6, even though it does look like Tahoe got a 7th shot late in the first period, and the first period ended with both teams getting 7 shots on goal. Danny Genev led Utah with 2 shots in the first period. 5 other Grizzlies had 1 shot. Nobody for Tahoe had more than 1 shot in the first period. Wasn't a single power play on either side in the first period, although I imagine things will get a little bit more physical. We saw kind of a filling out process as both teams were kind of examining the strengths and weaknesses of each other, as that's the first of 9 meetings this season between the Grizzlies and Night Monsters. When we come back, we'll recap the first period. We'll also tell some all-star stories as Tahoe leads Utah 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
After one period over at Tahoe Blue Event Center, Night Monsters lead the Grizzlies 2-0. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out in the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center, as we are one time zone away from where the Grizzlies are doing battle against the Night Monsters for the first of a 3-game series. Tahoe got on the board 4:37 in as Jake Derflinger skated towards the right wing, got around a couple Grizzlies, and found a pretty good shooting angle as he roofed it over Dylan Wells. It was 4:37 into the first. The assist went to Craig McCabe and Mike O'Leary. And then later on in the first period, Blake Wells to the puck in the right wing, looked to center it, and it bounced off of something. It wasn't a direct shot past Dylan Wells from Blake Wells, no relation. As it looked like Blake Wells was trying to center it, and it might have bounced off a Grizzly. Didn't get much of a good look at it. We didn't get much of a good look of any of the first 20 minutes, quite frankly, from this video screen. But Wells picks up his first pro goal as he scored .904, and he played earlier this season in the SPHL with Pensacola. Remember, Wells did end the 2023-24 season with the Grizzlies and then got hurt at the start of last season. Only appeared in a couple of games with the Grizzlies last season. He was on Utah's roster all of last year, but was on the injured list for pretty much the entire season. So I think there was a game in Boise that Wells got hurt in and missed the whole season. Only played in a game or two last year, but Wells gets his first goal as a Night Monster and first in this league with Brendan Dowler getting the assist. Dowler, one of the new members of the Tahoe Knight Monsters, as he signed earlier today. The newest Grizzly, Sean Kennedy, was out there, took some face-offs. Looks like he's got a pretty versatile skill set. Kennedy wearing number 17. Doesn't have anything statistically on the basic stat sheet, but Kennedy looked to be pretty strong for the Grizzlies. He was an even in the plus-minus category in the first period. Both teams had 7 shots. Danny Genev had 2. Colby Enns, Stepan Timofeyev, Reed Lebster, John Gillette, and Tyler Gratton each had 1 shot. Tahoe's Jordan Paperny saved all 7 shots he saw from the Grizzlies. Tahoe didn't have a single player with more than 1 shot in the first, and obviously Derflinger and Wells found the back of the net. Utah's Dylan Wells, no relation to Tahoe's Blake Wells, saved 5 of 7 in the first period. It's a very busy night in the league. Many games have gone finals. Obviously, Tahoe's the only team in the league in the Pacific time zone. Games have gone final. Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals got 3 third-period goals from Yoder, who picked up, actually, Yoder ended up with 4 goals, 3 of them in the third period, as Norfolk defeats the Adirondack Thunder 6-1. Orlando gets a 5-4 victory, as Tyler Bird got the game winner, 7:01 into the third period, as Orlando defeats Jacksonville 5-4. In overtime, Maine defeats Reading 4-3. as Maine gets the victory in overtime. 3 different goal scorers for Reading. Florida defeats Worcester 4-1. Former Grizzly Taryn Fizer scored 2 goals for the Everblades, as Fizer had an outstanding year for the Grizzlies back in the 2022-23 campaign, as Fizer was the number 2 star of the game. Former Grizzly Will Cranley gets the victory in net as he saved 13 of 14. So former Grizzlies all over the scoring sheet. Burns had 4 assists for Florida in tonight's game. And the Everblades defeat the Worcester Railers 4-1. Savannah defeats Guy Krenz and Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators 5-2. Cody Sylvester had both of Atlanta's goals in the loss, as Savannah had goals from 5 different players. Savannah 5, Atlanta 2. Wheeling gets a 4-3 victory over Trois-Rivières. Former Grizzly Craig Armstrong had 1 goal for the Nailers, and that came in the 3rd period. As Wheeling, they've had a strong start to the season. They get the home victory over Trois-Rivières 4-3, as Wheeling's record goes to 23-7-1. Iowa defeats Toledo 2-1. Dennis Smirnoff was in training camp for the Grizzlies prior to the 2020-21 season. He scored Toledo's lone goal. Fort Wayne over Cincinnati 7-4. That game has gone final, as the Comets got a goal from M. Berry. Is that former Grizzly Matt Berry? We'll have to look that up, as the Comets outshot the Cincinnati Cyclones 41-22. And Fort Wayne comes away with a 7-4 victory. Kansas City at home defeats Tulsa 3-2. As Crawford, Cotton, and Ewens each scored a goal for Kansas City. Pakinov and Bianca Batuka found the back of the net for Tulsa. Second intermission, Allen leads Wichita 4-0, as the Americans have goals from 4 different players. Oddly enough, actually it looks like that game had just gone final, as Allen defeats Wichita 4-0, as David Tendek pitched a 42 save shutout. So that game's just gone final. Allen defeats Wichita 4-0. Early 3rd period, Indy and Rapid City are tied at 1. Former Grizzly Ryan Wagner has the lone Rapid City goal. After 2 periods over at Idaho Central Arena, Greensboro leads Idaho 4-2. It's a reunion of sorts, as Colin Lee was the Grizzlies' head athletic trainer for 5 seasons, and he returns to Boise, a place that he's obviously very familiar with as the Grizzlies. Obviously, it's spent quite a bit of time over the last 5 years over in Boise for road games, as Greensboro got goals from 4 different players, and that game's still ongoing. After 2 periods, Greensboro leads Idaho 4-2. So that's the scores across the league. When we come back, we'll check in on those living the dream, as we'll go over the NHL scores. The Utah Mammoth are currently in action, taking on the St. Louis Blues. After 1 period over at Tahoe Blue Event Center, Knight Monsters 2 and the Grizzlies nothing. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
First intermission, Grizzlies trail 2-0 over in Tahoe. There's 3 NHL games tonight. Jets get a 5-1 home victory over the LA Kings. Mark Scheifele had 2 goals, and Jonathan Taves, the former Blackhawk, also had a goal for the Jets, as Winnipeg had 19 shots on goal, and 5 of them found the back of the net, as Winnipeg scored 2 goals in the first and 3 in the second. They didn't have any 3rd period goals, didn't need any. Winnipeg defeats the LA Kings 5-1. The other final in the NHL, Capitals defeat the Blackhawks 5-1. Alex Ovechkin scored a 3rd period goal. He now has 19 goals on the season, as Washington and Chicago each had 24 shots, but Washington comes away with a 5-1 victory. And over at Delta Center, they're through 2 periods, and the Mammoth lead the Blues 3-2. Nick Schmaltz got Utah on the board 15-10 into the first period, with Clayton Keller and Mikhail Sergachev getting the assists. Lawson Krause, the old 6'7", gets his 11th of the year. He scored on Wednesday in the 3-1 victory over Ottawa, and Krause scores 7:45 into the second with Keller and John Marino getting the assists. Oscar Sundqvist gets St. Louis on the board as he scored 7:55 into the second. And oddly enough, Sundqvist scored 10 seconds after Krause scored in the second period. That made it a 2-1 game. Sean Dursey extended Utah's lead to 3-1. He scored 11:43 in with Schmaltz and Krause getting the assist. So Lawson Krause with 1 goal and 1 assist. Nick Schmaltz with 1 goal and 1 assist. Pavel Buchnevich scored his 8th of the year, 16:27 in. And Thomas with one of the St. Louis assists. That made it a 3-2 game. Time of goal 16:27 into the second. They're through 2 periods. St. Louis has outshot Utah 19-15, but it's the Mammoth that have a 3-2 victory, or a 3-2 lead. That game is after 2 periods. Over at Tahoe Blue Event Center, Night Monsters got first period goals from Jake Derflinger and Blake Wells. In the college football playoff semifinal game, the winner will take on the Miami Hurricanes. And right now, Indiana, late in the fourth quarter, leads Oregon 56-15. That's right. Indiana has put up 56 points on Oregon, and it looks like Indiana will face Miami in the College Football National Championship game. That's going to be on January 19th, and that should be a ton of fun. Indiana 56, Oregon 15. How did the Heisman Trophy winner, Mendoza, perform? 5 touchdown passes for Mendoza, 17 of 20 passing, 177 yards for Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner. Mendoza is a native of Miami, and so he will face the Miami Hurricanes in the national championship game on January 19th, as that game now has 3.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Indiana 56, Oregon 15. So that's the scores from around the world of sports. When we come back, we will have second period action over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. You've been listening to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
We're about set for second period action as Tahoe leads 2-0. Grizzlies will be looking for a second period comeback. Earlier this week, the league's all-star teams were announced as the collection of league all-stars will take on the Allen Americans on Monday, January 19th at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Each team had one all-star representative. Atlanta ended up with 2 because another team's all-star representative was traded to Atlanta between the time the league selected the teams and the teams were announced. So Atlanta with 2 all-stars. And with that, obviously the Grizzlies had a few players that were all-star deserving, but Danny Genev gets the nod. He leads all league rookies with 27 points this season. He's tied for second among rookies with 16 assists. And if the season ended today, he would be a strong candidate for the league's Rookie of the Year award. Genev, obviously, we'd mentioned earlier, broke a string of 5 straight defensemen to represent the Grizzlies in either the All-Star game or were at least selected as All-Stars. Obviously, there was no All-Star game last year, but they did announce a team, and Derek Dashke would have been the All-Star representative for the Grizzlies had there been a game. There's some fun names. Obviously, go to UtahGrizzlies.com. The announcement for Danny Genev, we went through year by year the Grizzlies All-Star representatives, and it's kind of fun to see the name Taylor Richards. He was one of Utah's best defensemen over the last decade. I think back to the 2017-2018 season, we had 17 goals, which were tied for the league lead among defensemen. And Taylor Richards, pound for pound, was the toughest guy in the league. Every optional skate wasn't optional for him. He was out there for every optional skate. I kind of remember about March of 2020. This was before the season was canceled, and he was all battered and bruised, and he had played Friday night and was less than 100% physically, but still played well in the game. And by Saturday morning, he looked like he could barely walk. He had upper body injuries, lower body injuries. He was beat up. There was an optional skate, and somehow he's out there for the optional skate, and he's blocking shots during the optional skate. When I say pound for pound toughest guy in the league, he certainly deserved that moniker, as Taylor Richards was just outstanding. It was one of those, I think, Tim Branham and Ryan Kanasowicz, the Grizzlies coaches at the time, had to remind him, hey, you made the team. If there's one guy that shouldn't be out here, it would be Taylor Richards. But that's part of why Taylor Richards was such a good hockey player. Think back to the last forward outside of Genev to make the All-Star club, and that's Caleb Herbert, who had over 30 goals for the Grizzlies back in the 2018-2019 season. Cliff Watson represented the Grizzlies in 2018. He was traded soon after the All-Star game to the Colorado Eagles. I think back to 2017, Eric Bradford, one of the best forwards in Grizzlies history, Alex Krushelnyski, made the All-Star club in 2015. Mitch Wall represented the Grizzlies in 2013, and he's still in the league as he's a member of the Idaho Steelheads this year. Jake Gannon back in 2011, a talented defenseman. And then 3 players in 2010, Vic Bartley, Ryan Kanasowicz, and A.J. Perry. Tom May had an outstanding 2009 campaign for the Grizzlies where he had close to 30 goals, and he represented the Grizzlies in 2009. 2008, the Grizzlies had a ton of All-Star candidates, and Justin Bourne and Keith Johnson each represented the Grizzlies at the All-Star game, not the Keith Johnson that used to manage the Salt Lake Bees. Well, 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock as Evan Frieson's out there with Tyler Gratton and Reed Lepster. It's a different forward line than what started the first period. Tahoe wins the draw. Grizzlies are skating from left to right here in the second period as the Knight Monsters roll it along the boards towards the left corner as Noah Gansky plays along with Jake McGrew as the puck slides towards Luke Salem, who gets it ahead as the puck was overled for Tyler Gratton as the Knight Monsters angle left, get to McGrew, dump it in, as well as plays behind his net on this fresh sheet of ice. As the puck goes back towards Tyler Gratton, he fires a backhand dish that was overled for Noah Gansky as the Grizzlies make their first line change of the second period. As Knight Monsters over the line, Adam back towards the right wing, back towards Adam, who couldn't get a shot off as puck lays along the far goal line, and Wells covers up as we get a stoppage of play. 43 seconds into the second period. And we do ask for a little bit of patience if you're tuned into the YouTube broadcast, as unfortunately we've got a very shaky camera feed. And so it's kind of like putting together a puzzle, but you don't have half the pieces. So we're trying to describe the game the best we can, but unfortunately it's not that easy with what we're dealing with on this Flow Sports feed. Riley Connors will take the draw as he stares down number 65, Devin Poliani. As Poliani, native of Ontario, played with Savannah previously in this league. Grizzlies won the draw as Connors crosses center ice. He'll bounce one in like a basketball towards the left corner. Connors chasing after it. He's surrounded by 2 Knight Monsters as Barbashev cycles it back around towards the area that Connors vacated. Knight Monsters out towards center ice. Neil Shea takes it away. Shea's got a point in 16 of his last 19 games, and Shea's been a consistent performer for the Grizzlies, not only last season, but this year as well. Shea gets it in the left wing, so roll it along the boards, but everybody stops skating. We don't hear any of the sounds over at Tahoe Blue Event Center, but I believe the Grizzlies were offside as there's 18:44 left in the second. Maybe this camera feed will pan to the Tahoe bench. Maybe we can get a good look at equipment manager Jackson Hibbard. Grizzlies have had a great string of equipment managers over the years. Jackson Hibbard was the head equipment manager the last 2 years, and DJ McFarland has done an outstanding job as head equipment manager this season. Miles Stewart, the assistant equipment manager, I think is still hanging out in Jamaica this weekend as he's having a good time on vacation. DJ McFarland, as puck goes towards the left wing, as Gillette with the lefty shot that misses wide as he tried to roof it over Paperny. Grizzlies will race deep in their own zone and get the puck as Noah Gansky rescues the puck and moves it towards the far side as Weinstein gets it. Now Weinstein paired up with Gansky. Weinstein normally paired up with Christian Felton, but Felton's a scratch for the first time this season. Weinstein delivers a strong push on a Night Monster in the far corner as puck slides towards the far circle. Grizzlies get it. They're in their own zone as Gillette overskated it. Weinstein with the puck, the 20-year-old from the WHL. He'll move it towards the far side. A Night Monster falls down. Kennedy with the puck, 2-on-2. Kennedy trying to get it across towards Gillette. Tapped off of a Night Monster stick on Gillette. Right side is lefty shot goes wide as he tried to fire past the right pads of Paperny. Grizzlies have it back in their own zone. Utah zips one angle left towards Timofeyev, tape to tape, as Ricketts rolls it towards the far corner. And now the puck towards the right wing. Action in the Tahoe zone. Collins moves it back towards center ice as Utah will guide it back in. Night Monsters back behind their own net towards the near corner as Tahoe will race out to center ice. Night Monsters towards the right wing as Kapchek will drop it as the Night Monsters get it back towards Kapchek around Utah's net. As Kapchek, Brendan's his first name, puck out towards center ice. The Night Monsters have a Brendan and a Brennan. As towards neutral ice, Weinstein will enter. As Ricketts moves it towards his left, Grizzlies over the offensive line. Left wing, lefty shot kick saved by Paperny off his left pad. As Ricketts gets the puck, as he shields Tahoe from the puck. As he falls down, does Ricketts. Touched up by Collins. Whistle blows, and we get our first penalty of the game. As the former Grizzly, Blake Wells, who scored one of Tahoe's 2 goals in the first period, he will go to the box. 2 minutes for tripping as Jack Ricketts drew the penalty. That's the signal made by Emil Sharon. This is the 7th game that Sharon has officiated involving the Grizzlies this year, as Blake Wells will shake his head back and forth. The Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first time tonight. Utah is 19.5% on the power play this year. Tahoe is 82.6%, which ranks 6th in the league, or 16th in the league. But Tahoe does have 7 shorthanded goals. So Grizzlies, the 2 guys up top, have to be a little bit disciplined, knowing that Tahoe will be a little bit more aggressive looking for a shorty, as they've already got 7 this year, second most in the league. Tahoe gets the puck. They'll race out towards center ice, and now they'll skate back into their own zone. As Grizzlies were very conscious of how many shorthanded goals Tahoe has this year, as 3 Grizzlies drifted back towards neutral ice pretty quickly. So good job by John Buchanan and Ryan Anderson going after that before the game, as the Grizzlies looked like they were very much aware of Tahoe and their ability to score shorthanded. Grizzlies have the puck as they skate along the near wing. As now Neil Shea gets to neutral ice. He'll move one towards his left to Gratton. Gratton steps over the offensive line, gets it across towards Ricketts, who drops for Lebster. Lebster feeds it towards Shea in the right wing. Shea 4 power play goals this season. Up top towards Lebster. Across to Hanson Bukado, has 8 power play assists. Over to Shea, back to Hanson Bukado in the left point. He'll backhand it towards Shea. Shea across towards Lebster, right wing. Lebster back up top to AHB. He'll direct it towards his left for Shea. Shea with the lefty shot that goes high and wide as he tried to go stick side past Paperny. Puck goes back towards the Utah line. Grizzlies reset. Hanson Bukado over skates the puck. Now he gets it back, and he'll backhand dish it towards the left wing. Grizzlies try to skate over the line as Shea over skates the puck, and Tahoe clears it back out. 40 seconds left in the power play as the Grizzlies switch up forwards. Taking the puck is Hanson Bukado. He'll guide it towards his right as Connors crosses center ice, steps over the offensive line, gets around a Night Monster. Connors righty shot saved by Paperny off his left pad. As the Night Monsters will skip it all the way towards Dylan Wells. 20 seconds left in the power play. Wells plays behind his net. And now it looks like everybody stopped skating. Something must have happened away from the screen to stop play, as there's 19 seconds left in the power play. Grizzlies have not been shorthanded yet tonight. So draw is going to be in the far circle of the Grizzlies zone. It's not a penalty as there's 5 on the ice for Utah, but looks like the Knight Monsters will have an offensive zone draw. Sean Kennedy will take the draw for Utah. As Grizzlies have been without Luke Manning for the last couple weeks. Manning had taken a ton of the faceoffs for Utah. It looks like Kennedy's going to take a few for Utah. He's already taken a few here tonight. Kennedy wins the draw as Stucker gets it back behind his net for Noah Gansky, the former Fort Wayne Comet. He'll drop it back behind Wells' net. 10 seconds left in the power play. As Stucker down the middle of the ice, he'll guide one towards his left, tape to tape. Grizzlies over the offense line. Kennedy trying to accept the pass, but the puck was poked away by Tahoe. As Wells comes out of the box for the Knight Monsters. Grizzlies 0 for 1 on the power play. They might have gotten one shot on that power play. As Grizzlies are up to 9 shots. Tahoe has 7. Grizzlies whip a long-range pass angle left. Now Utah over the offensive line. As Gillette loses control, now the puck goes back into the Grizzlies zone. Stucker across towards Weinstein. Weinstein will feed it off the far wing boards. Now the puck goes back towards Tahoe as they'll skate back into their own zone as they skip one towards right. Rink-wide feed angle left as it goes towards O'Leary. O'Leary tried to find a cutter in the near circle, and the pass went awry. As the Grizzlies, Stucker with a hot pass that connects angle left. Now the Grizzlies skate towards left circle. Lefty shot saved by Paperny. He holds on. There was Ricketts that took the shot, and after the whistle, it looks like a Knight Monster and Ricketts stare each other down. And that was C.J. Valerian, the 6'2", 212-pound defenseman. As Ricketts and Valerian continue to stare each other down, now they'll cease and desist and go their separate ways. So draw's going to be over in the far circle, and if you're watching on Flow Sports, it looks like a roulette wheel that's outlined the circle. Kind of a unique touch over in State Line, Nevada. As Ricketts will take the draw against Casey Bailey, who's been the league player of the week twice this season, including last week. He's been one of the talks of the league. Bailey's had an outstanding year. Tahoe does have a talented group of forwards. Knight Monsters win the draw. They'll whip it along the far wing wall as the Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. As a good shoulder check, Ricketts placed on Luke Adam. Adam over the offense line. He's got a long stick. He'll drop it as the Knight Monsters get pushed back towards neutral ice. Timofeyev with the puck, and he'll bounce one towards the Tahoe line to Genev, who taps to Ricketts, who slides it back towards left wing for Timofeyev. He tried to get to Genev, but Genev couldn't reach his stick out in front of the crease. Puck towards the right wing. Now Genev, he tried to backhand flip over towards Timofeyev, and it's picked off by Bailey. Puck goes back towards the right wing, and Tahoe will stride along the ring. Now the Knight Monsters step over the offensive line. Taylor accelerates towards the left side. Couldn't get a shot off. Now Taylor and Enns, the 2 number 5s. As Enns drags down Taylor. As Taylor, the former Clarkson captain, puck back to neutral ice. Grizzlies have numbers. Genev left wing. Skates towards left circle. Toe drag. Shot to score! And that's the all-star Danny Genev getting his 12th of the year. And the Grizzlies get on the board here early in the second. Boy, the Grizzlies had a 3-on-1, and Danny Genev called his own number. Toe dragged in the left circle, and he fired it past Paperny. And so Danny Genev, he's an all-star for a reason. He gets his 12th of the year. And that forward line of Genev, Ricketts, and Timofeyev get Utah on the board. So Draw's going to be at center ice, and it took the 11th shot to get one past Paperny, as Danny Genev with his 3rd shot of the game, as Genev's been one of the best rookies of the league, and I would say he's probably a strong candidate for the league's Rookie of the Year award. Grizzlies ice the puck deep towards Paperny, and so the draw's going to come back towards Dylan Wells. We'll see if anybody gets the assist on the Genev goal as he gets the Grizzlies on the board 6.5 minutes into the second period. Here's some Grizzlies trivia. I figured it out earlier this week, as Genev is one of only 2 players in the league to have 2 hat tricks on the year. The question is, who's the other? Danny Genev, 2 hat tricks this season. Trivia question, who's the other player in the league that has 2 hat tricks? We'll give you the answer after the under 14 timeout. So we played about 7 minutes of this second period. Grizzlies race along the right wing. Friesen skates towards the right circle. Lefty shot saved by Paperny. Rebound goes towards Gustafson. He'll slide it back to neutral ice. Grizzlies will saucer it back in deep. Knight Monsters take control of the puck behind their own net. As it's 2-1 Tahoe, but the Grizzlies have momentum. Gustafson crosses center ice, gets around Lebster. Gustafson feeds it towards the left wing. Lefty shot saved by Wells. Now the puck back towards the crease as Grattan feeds it towards Weinstein, who slides it ahead. Webster crosses center ice, skates over the offensive line, veers off to his right. Trying to drop it for Gratton. Gratton tried to shovel it towards the middle of the ice, fanned on it. Left wing, lefty shot, and that's blocked away by Paperny. Nate Callum gets the puck as Callum will slide it to the middle of the ice. Valerian will race across center ice, and he'll flip it on towards Wells as Wells kicks it away. Valerian fanned on trying to move it towards the net. Now the Grizzlies left wing cross center ice. Shea skates over the offensive line, left point, fires towards Paperny, who makes a glove save about ankle high. And that stops play. 11:59 left in the second period. Danny Genev gets Utah on the board with his 12th of the year. It's Utah getting on the board as Tahoe still leads 2-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Now the Grizzlies got on the board as Danny Genev scored his 12th of the year, 6:47 in. They gave an assist to Luke Salem, which means he now has 6 assists on the year. Riley Connors will take the drives out there with Nil Shea, and we believe Maxime Barbashev. Grizzlies have outshot the Knight Monsters 11-7 as Utah has taken each of the first 4 shots of the second period. Connors, a former Yale captain from 2 years ago, played last year at St. Lawrence University. He wins the draw. Grizzlies Salem will drop it off. Left wing. Shea with the lefty shot and it's blocked away by Paperny. As Connors gets double-teamed over in the far corner. Now Tahoe comes out with a puck. Knight Monsters in a multicolored uniform. A little bit of teal and white mixed in. Taylor skates over the offensive line. Kalen Taylor, left wing, lefty shot goes wide. Knight Monsters feed it back towards the Utah backboard as Connors and Salem, they hawk a Knight Monster. Now Tahoe to the right wing, lefty shot. That one goes wide. And now the puck steered towards the left point. As Kapchek gets back in deep, Connors pins the Knight Monster towards the boards. Salem gets hit by Derflinger, who scored a first period goal for Tahoe. 3 Grizzlies and 3 Knight Monsters over in the near corner as it's shoveled ahead by Gansky and taken by McCabe. He fired from the left point and puck didn't get towards Wells. Grizzlies will tap it back towards Tahoe ice. Now Gustafson gets bounced by a Grizzly towards the boards. Gansky gets spun around with Adam Pitters. Pitters got in a fight with Cade Nilsson last season. Now the puck went back towards neutral ice, and it looks like the Knight Monsters are offside. Now it looks like, let's see, maybe Tahoe got caught with too many, as Anthony Collins is a little bit puzzled. So it looks like maybe Tahoe was called for offside with 10:54 left in the second. Or maybe it is too many on the ice. And so it's going to be a penalty for the Knight Monsters, served by Craig McCabe, as Tahoe got caught with too many on the ice. So it'll be Utah's second power play of the second period. As the Grizzlies will set up shop in the right circle. Utah power play, it's Tahoe 2, Utah 1. Grizzlies looking for the tying goal. Friesen, Connors, and Genev are the 3 down low. Not sure who the 2 up top are. As Connors will stare down Casey Bailey in the face-off circle. The Grizzlies with each of the first 4 shots of the second period. Utah wins the draw. Robbie Stucker gets it, skates towards the right corner. Now I'll tap it back up top, looking for Genev. It's picked off by the Knight Monsters who clear it out. Wells will race towards the far corner to accept the puck, and he outlets it to center ice, left wing. Connors over the offensive line, trying to get towards Friesen, but instead whipped it around the boards. As Stucker gets double-teamed, Friesen will tap it towards the corner for Connors. Riley Connors gets the puck, and he'll cycle it back around towards the left wing. At the point, dancing around Timofeyev, who will skate towards the corner. Now he stops. Now he'll cycle it back to the spot he vacated to Friesen, back to Timofeyev. He'll tap it up top. As Stucker gets the puck, skates towards the high slot. He'll direct it to his left. Timofeyev, left circle, back up top to Stucker. Stucker with a righty shot. And that one's blocked away by Paperny as it kicks towards the far wing boards. Dancing around Timofeyev. He'll slide it across to Genev just outside the right circle. Genev looking for a centering pass. And it glanced off a Tahoe stick and it flies out of play off the protective netting. There's an even 10 minutes left in the second period. So we're at exactly the halfway point of the 60-minute affair. 1:06 is left in the power play. The Grizzlies will hit the reset button and get 5 fresh skaters on the ice. All right, the answer to the trivia question we gave a few minutes ago, who's the only other player? Danny Genev has 2 hat tricks this year. Who's the only other player in the league that has 2 hat tricks? Former league MVP Brandon Hawkins of the Toledo Walleyes. So Genev in good company there. As Ricketts will take the draw, he wins it. Grizzlies get it up top to Hanson Bukata. Was 15 assists this season, 8 on the power play. Shea, left circle. He feeds it behind Tahoe's net. Grizzlies get it back towards Lebster. Up top towards Hanson Bukata. Directs towards left side. Now Ricketts lefty shot. Saved by Paperny. Puck's still alive, and Paperny covers up. As Tyler Gratton was net front battling with Brendan Kapchek after a loose puck. But it looked like Kapchek boxed out Gratton, and Paperny was able to cover up. 50 seconds left in the power play. 9:44 left in the second. Looks like a pretty good crowd's filed into Tahoe Blue Event Center. Kind of a similar building of sorts to what they have in Idaho Falls at Mountain America Center. As there's a fan chugging a beverage of his choice. He's dancing around, having a good time. Hopefully he's not driving home. And we missed some live action. Lebster toe drag shot saved by Paperny. We went right from a fan chugging a beer to Lebster with a good scoring chance from the right wing. Gustafson over the offensive line, dumps it into the left corner. We have to laugh at it, as unfortunately that's the reality of what we're dealing with this weekend. As Hanson Bukata will drop it off as Grizzlies. Shea feeds in the middle of the ice for Lebster. Lebster over the offense line, dangling back and forth, stops before he gets to the corner. Trying to get it back towards Ricketts as Lebster gets held up along the boards. Taylor trying to poke the puck away from the wall. As there's 12 seconds left in the power play. Puck goes up top, but it goes past Hanson Bukata. And is it going to be delay of game? That's what Hanson Bukata wanted. The puck ended up in the Tahoe bench. So I believe no delay of game is that would have tapped off the glass had there been glass there. As Tahoe was able to clear it out, it went out of play. But no delay of game according to the 3 officials, the 1 referee and 2 linesmen. So there's 9 seconds left in the power play. Grizzlies with an offensive zone draw. Sean Kennedy will take the faceoff. He's out there with Gillette and Barbashev. Kennedy, his Grizzlies debut. It's his second game in this league. He played 1 game with Tulsa a couple years ago. He didn't play for any team last year. Might have been out with an injury. As Grizzlies get a siren pass back and shot and a score! Grizzlies tied up with 8:55 left in the second. Boy, the Grizzlies got a centering pass in and a beautiful backhand shot flew past Paperny. And that was a power play goal. 1 second left in the power play. And the Grizzlies tied up at 2. Unfortunately, I had a tough time spotting who it was that scored the goal. That was a beauty as the Grizzlies scored 2 unanswered. Genev made it a 2-1 game. And unfortunately, we didn't get a good look as to who scored the goal to tie it up. And it is a power play goal as there is 1 second left in the power play when the goal was scored. So we'll see who gets credited with the goals. We're now tied at 2. Here halfway through the second period, it's John Gillette. Gillette gets his 6th of the year. Weinstein and Barbashev with the assists. So second period goals from Genev and Gillette as we're tied at 2. And for Weinstein, it's his 2nd point of the season with an assist. And Barbashev gets back on the scoring sheet. It's his 6th assist of the year, and it is a power play goal that was scored 11:05 into the second. Grizzlies have it deep in their own zone as Gansky slides along the near wing wall, and icing is going to be called on Utah with 8:20 left in the second. So once again, a power play goal for Utah to tie it up, 11:05 in. It was John Gillette getting his 6th of the year with Sage Weinstein and Maxime Barbashev, each picking up the assists. How about the shot count here in the second period? Grizzlies have outshot the Knight Monsters 10-3. We mentioned that Tahoe allows about 38.5 shots per game on the season, so you're going to get some good looks against them. Paperny is a good goaltender, but the Grizzlies, who have peppered goaltenders with shots lately, 35.5 shots per game. Shot from the left point by Taylor, saved by Wells. Puck goes back towards the right point. Tahoe will feed it towards the right corner. They looked for the give and go for Kapchek as Weinstein anticipated the play, goes up top but not out. Gustafson slides one across. Now it drifts back to neutral ice as Kalen Taylor seems to be an impressive-looking player, 6'2", 194 pounds, good skater. As the Knight Monsters enter from the right wing, Grizzlies try to cut off their pursuit. Now Tahoe back behind Utah's net. They feed it out in front, and the Grizzlies in the crease clear it all the way out. No icing on the play, and Grattan had the puck. Now back towards Ricketts, right wing. Lefty shot's blocked. Knight Monsters come back the other way. It taps off a Grizzlies stick. I haven't seen Colby Enns much here in this second period. Grizzlies did switch up the defensive pairings. Now Tahoe feeds a cross-ice pass off the stick of Molinari. As the Grizzlies back towards the near wing, Stucker will bounce one to neutral ice. As Utah's Jack Ricketts steps over the offense line, stops in the left point, gets it to Genev. Genev, the all-star, 1 goal here in the second period and 12 on the season. He tried to center it, and it's tapped away by a Tahoe stick. Knight Monsters back over the offensive line. O'Leary dumps it into the right corner. Enns, we talked about him. He's out there on the ice, but the Grizzlies did switch up the defensive pairings in the second period. Grattan down the middle of the ice, crosses center. He lumbers over the offense line, gets it towards Lebster in the right wing. But on the back check, taking it away is Jake Derflinger, the speedy forward for Tahoe. Puck back to the Utah line. Colby Enns nudges it ahead toward about 5 feet. Now the Grizzlies sky it in as Paperny raises his arm, and so do the linesman. Icing is on Utah with 6:41 left in the second. So strong turnaround for the Grizzlies here in the second period. Genev scored 6:47 in, and then John Gillette on a beautiful backhand shot, 11:05 in, tied it up. It was a power play goal. There was 1 second left on the power play. As Utah has been pretty strong in the power play. They haven't had many power play chances. Oddly enough, the Grizzlies only averaging about 3 power plays per game. But they're doing a good job just getting 1 power play goal at a time, as Utah now has a power play goal in 17 of their last 24 games. Tahoe wins the draw. They're in the offensive zones. They get it back in deep. Derflinger in the left corner gets it back behind his net as Adam Pitters gets spun around. Friesen with the puck. Skating after him is Derflinger. Derflinger hits Friesen in the back as the puck skies out to neutral ice, and it hit the ops towards Paperny as Valerian had to play it about 10 feet in front of the Tahoe crease. Valerian zips a long-range pass angle left and didn't get to see the receiving end of that as Connor Merritt chases after it wearing number 14 for Tahoe. Grizzlies back over the offensive line, dangling back and forth is Shea. And Shea zips it around the boards. Lebster will feed it back towards the right goal line for Connors. Back to Shea, who reverses. Field back to the far side is Shea. We'll get it back up top. Weinstein, lefty shot, saved by Paperny. Grizzlies rebound shot. That one's blocked away by Paperny again. Barbashev tried to feed it out in front, and it's picked off, and the whistle blows as there's a stick laying in front of the crease, and there's less than 6 minutes left in the second. So timeout on the ice. Grizzlies have tied it up at 2 on second period goals from Danny Genev and John Gillette. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
So we're tied at 2 as there's 5 minutes and 46 seconds left in the second period. As Grizzlies have outshot the Knight Monsters 19-12. In Utah over the last 15 games, they are averaging 35.6 shots per game. And considering Tahoe allows about 38.5 per game, Grizzlies going to fire towards the net early and often. Grizzlies won the draw, high slot. Barbashev, lefty shot, glove saved by Paperny, who sprawled towards his left to grab it. He stops play with 5:40 left in the second. The Grizzlies getting it done with a couple first-year pros. Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State, and John Gillette, the first-year pro out of Holy Cross. Looks like there's another time out of the ice. We're tied at 2 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck
5:40 left in the second period. We're tied at 2 as Riley Connors will take the draw for Utah on the left circle. Draw one by Utah. Left wing shot. That one goes wide as the Grizzlies dance around. Neil Shea gets pinned to the boards right side. Feeds it towards Connors. One-timer, and that goes wide. Paperny might have gotten a piece of it with a stick. Now left wing. Shot saved by Paperny in the butterfly position as the puck goes back towards the left wing. As Weinstein feeds to the corner. Grizzlies look for a cutting Riley Connors in front of the net. Instead, they fake it and get it up top towards Weinstein. Back to Shea, who skates towards the left corner. Back behind the net is Barbashev over in the right goal line as the Grizzlies are buzzing here in the second period. As Barbashev feeds up top, Grizzlies try to get towards Shea. It's picked off by Tahoe as Barbashev tried to shovel it towards the net. And now Tahoe gets the puck. Racing across center ice is Brennan Kapchek, who's a +3 this season. Down the middle, now he veers off to the right. Now Kapchek's in the right point. Everybody in the Grizzlies zone. As he'll tap it towards his right. Gratton delivers a blow on a Night Monster. As puck is pinned by Gratton. Gansky trying to yank it away. Connors looking nearby. Puck towards the right wing. Gustafson feeds to the right goal line. Now right side lefty shot and a score. Jordan Gustafson on a bit of a scramble play at the puck in the right circle. And he fired it past Wells. Tahoe takes a 3-2 lead. The lights go flickering back and forth. They never show the replay of the Grizzlies' goals, but they'll show the Tahoe replay. Gustafson just inside the right circle, fired it past Wells as Wells kind of jumped and kind of with a bit of a leaping leaner. As I think he thought Gustafson was going to go stick side, and then Gustafson kind of went glove side on Wells. As Jordan Gustafson gets his third of the year. It's 3-2 Tahoe late in the second period. Grizzlies over the offensive line. John Gillette towards the right corner. Now he stops, gets pushed by Callan. Now Gillette dances around. Gustafson joins the play. Now the puck slides towards the right wing. Backhand feed by Kennedy. And a save by Paperny. Boy, the puck just kind of drifted from the corner towards the right circle. And Kennedy, with a wing and a prayer and a backhand shot that Paperny was able to make the stop on. But it looks like Sean Kennedy. That was a pretty quick shot release from Kennedy. It looks like he's going to be a pretty good one for the Grizzlies. Kennedy will stay on the ice and he'll take the draws. The Night Monsters communicate with each other. Sean Kennedy just signed yesterday. He's wearing number 17. Kennedy, 6 feet, 190 pounds, and 27 games at Birmingham this year in the SBHL, had 6 goals and 15 assists. As puck towards the right corner, Kennedy will race after it. He gets the loose puck. He'll drop it back to the spot he vacated, but Gillette couldn't reach it. As the Night Monsters will tattoo it off the far wing boards. It's behind the Night Monster neutralize that it was intended for. 4 minutes left in the second period. As Tahoe over the offensive line, Derflinger loses control of the puck. Stucker slides towards the far side. Now the Grizzlies get it back to Stucker. It will casually towards center ice, cross the center red line, and he'll whip it around the boards. Grizzlies trying to whip it back around, but it gets held up in the left corner. Genev joins the play, 2-on-2 battle. Now Ricketts will skate towards the play in the left corner. Puck gets tapped back towards the corner as Gratton battles. Grizzlies are switching up the forward lines a little bit here in the second period, and it's had some pretty good results. As the Night Monsters, Valerian will bouncing off the boards as Tahoe will race out to center ice. Grizzlies retreat defensively. Tahoe crosses center. Derflinger will bounce it off Agansky, and Derflinger runs after the puck in the left corner. He'll feed it to the left circle. Lefty shot's blocked before it gets to Wells. That shot was taken by Connor Merritt. As the puck goes back towards Genev, who falls down. Now Genev gets back to his feet. He'll backhand it off the boards. Anthony Collins gets to the middle of the ice. Merritt trying to move it ahead about 10 feet, and it's tapped by Salem's stick. Now Tahoe back behind the net. Dancing around is Blake Wells, who has one goal tonight. The former Grizzly over to the right wing. Shot hits the crossbar, and the Irons unkind. It's still a 3-2 game. Timofeyev over the offensive line. Trying to get to the middle of the ice for Ricketts. Went past him. Ricketts gets off the left wing boards. Saved by Paperny. Now the Night Monsters slide it up and not out. Right point. Grizzlies keep it in. They get towards Genev. Danny with a lefty shot, and it's blocked away by Paperny, and it flies out of play with 2:37 left in the second. As Tahoe leads 3-2, but the Grizzlies with a couple hard-working shifts here trying to tie it up. Both teams with 7 shots in the first period. There's a bit of that feeling out process. Grizzlies with 17 shots. Actually, 16 shots. Math is hard sometimes. 7 in the first and 16 in the second. Grizzlies are up to 23 shots, and Tahoe 7 shots in the first and 8 here in the second. Grizzlies win the offensive zone draws. Lepster over in the corner. He falls down as he was battling with Kalen Taylor. As the Night Monsters will race across center ice, left wing feed, connects towards Jake McGrew. McGrew dumps into the corner as Sage Weinstein, who's got 1 assist tonight and 2 on the season. He'll tattoo it off the boards. The puck will plop into the Night Monsters zone. As falling down is McCabe, the newest Night Monster. He'll sky it into the Grizzlies zone. Wells will eye it down as the puck slides towards the Utah backboards, and icing is on Tahoe with 2:07 left in the second. The Grizzlies, they've been a strong second period club offensively, and it's really been the third periods where the Grizzlies have gotten it done as of late. As Utah's within striking range here late in the second. Casey Bailey will take the draw for Tahoe. Bailey used to play in Austria, native of Anchorage, Alaska's Casey Bailey, born in 1991. That would make him 34 years old, and there's nothing old about 34. I would say that as I'm pretty close to 40 myself. Tahoe over the offensive line, right wing. As Night Monsters get around Stucker. They try to feed one out in front, shot and a score. And that's Casey Bailey right on cue as he holds his face if he were hit with a high stick. But Bailey finds the back of the net as he's checking his face. And Bailey makes it a 4-2 game. So Night Monsters just curled a pass out in front to Bailey. And Casey Bailey got a feed from Luke Adam, the Tahoe captain. As they show the replay over and over again. It's a 4-2 game, and Casey Bailey, the reigning league player of the week, gets his 15th goal of the year. And Luke Adam gets his 13th assist of the season. So after the Grizzlies scored 2 unanswered with Genev and Gillette, the Night Monsters respond with 2 unanswered of their own. Gustafson 15:23 in, and Casey Bailey 18:07 in on a great pass from Luke Adam. Puck deep in the Grizzlies zone as Barbashev skates around Wells' net. Now head towards center ice as Connors had a tap off his stick to neutral ice. As the Night Monsters re-enter. As Trent Swick, who's got a goal in 6 straight games, he doesn't have a goal so far tonight. As Barbashev delivers a hit on Tahoe as they were skating towards the middle of the ice. Now Barbashev with the puck 2-on-2. Stops, drops it for Shea. Shea, right wing lefty shot, sticked away by Paperny, and it flies out of play with 1:16 left in the second. Well, you got to be impressed with Maxime Barbashev. He seems to just play ultra hard game in and game out, and he's really seeing great results as he's playing some of his best hockey in this his second pro season. Grizzlies, looks like John Gillette's going to be on the ice. As the camera operator's having a tough time trying to spot what they want to show next. They spotlight Casey Bailey on the bench as he's talking things over with Luke Adam. Imagine Bailey says, I owe you a dinner. Probably to Luke Adam because it was the Adam pass that was a perfectly placed feed towards Casey Bailey, who just put it away with a righty shot. As Tahoe over the offensive line, they skeet towards the left corner as O'Leary collides with Kennedy. And I've been really impressed with Kennedy tonight. Seems to be a pretty good athlete. Kennedy battles along the boards. John Gillette in the area. 4 Grizzlies and 2 Night Monsters Aiden Hansen-Bukata yanks the puck away as he'll skeet towards the far side. Now he'll saucer back to center ice. Tahoe regathers it. Kalen Taylor, the impressive-looking first-year defenseman, skates over the offensive line, but the Knight Monsters are offside with 44.6 seconds left in the second. Going back to talking about Barbashev, who certainly made a strong impression. You talk about him as a +6 in his last 7 games, and he does have 1 assist tonight. He now has 6 points in his last 7 games, of this being the 7th game, 3 goals and 3 assists. And this is his second year as a pro, former Rangers draft pick, and Barbashev is playing his best hockey in his pro career. His brother Ivan Barbashev is a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. So Utah looking for some momentum late in the second period. 37 seconds left. They get it towards the Tahoe line. Timofeyev, right wing, righty shot, rebound shot. And that one, the second shot missed wide. That was taken by Genev. Now Genev, backhand shot, kick saved by Paperny. As puck back behind Tahoe's net. Grizzlies trying to put the pressure on. And once again, it's the forward line of Timofeyev, Genev, and Ricketts. That's been a strong forward line for the Grizzlies tonight. Tahoe iced the puck with 16.8 seconds left in the second. So Draw's going to come back towards Paperny. So we'll see if the Grizzlies can get a couple shots here late in the second period to try to cut into the lead. So it looks like the Grizzlies will keep the forward line of Genev, Timofeyev, and Ricketts on the ice. As Ricketts will take the draw in the left circle. Tahoe switched up skaters. Actually, they couldn't on the icing, so it's the same 5 for Tahoe. Casey Bailey will take the draw. Kind of a sharp-looking uniform that the Knight Monsters have. Kind of a military theme. It might be their military night. It is a very sharp look. As Knight Monsters have the puck. They'll backhand it. It was played with a high stick by Timofeyev, but Luke Adam plays it for Tahoe. To get it towards the left wing, 3 seconds left in the period. Puck goes back to neutral ice. And that will do it for 40 minutes as a shot was taken by the Grizzlies from neutral ice that Paperny made a save on at the buzzer. And so both teams will head to the locker room. Well, the Grizzlies scored 2 unanswered. In the middle portion of the second period, as Genev and Gillette found the back of the net, but Tahoe retook the lead as Jordan Gustafson scored 15-23 in. And then Casey Bailey got a great pass from Luke Adam out in front, and Bailey scored his 15th of the year. So Grizzlies, they've been a strong third-period club offensively this season. They're going to need a strong third period in order to come back in this one. Both teams head to the locker room as Tahoe leads Utah 4-2. We'll come back and recap the first 40 minutes of play and also go for some scores from around the world of sports. Tahoe 4, Utah 2 after 2 periods of play as Utah got second period goals from Danny Genev and John Gillette. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
After 40 minutes of play, Tahoe leads Utah 4-2. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out in the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center. As the Grizzlies played pretty well the first half of the second period to climb back into it, but Tahoe with 2 unanswered in the final 5 minutes of the second period. If you joined us late, the Knight Monsters took a quick 2-0 lead as Jake Derflinger scored from the right wing, 4:37 in. McCabe and O'Leary with the assists. And then former Grizzly Blake Wells, who played in 4 games with the Grizzlies over the last 2 seasons, a couple at the end of the 2023-24 season, and a couple games at the start of last season before suffering a season-ending injury. Wells scored his first pro goal with Brendan Dowler getting the assist, a time of goal 9:04 into the first period. Tahoe led 2-0 after 1 period as both teams had 7 shots. In the second period, the Grizzlies outshot the Knight Monsters 18-9, and Utah climbed back into it with one hard-working shift at a time. Danny Genev scored on a toe drag left wing shot as he scored 6:47 in. It's his 12th of the year. Earlier this week, Genev was named to the All-Star team. Luke Salem with the lone assist. Salem now has 6 helpers on the year. Then the Grizzlies got a power play as the Knight Monsters were called for too many on the ice, 9:06 in. And there was 1 second left in the power play when John Gillette got a centering pass and fired a beautiful backhand shot past Paperny. It was one of the best goals you'll see all year. And if you want to know what that goal looks like, go to the Grizzlies X account, or otherwise known as Twitter, and they've got the video of the Gillette goal. He scored his 6th of the year. Weinstein and Barbashev each picked up an assist. Weinstein now has 2 assists on the year, and Maxime Barbashev now has 6 assists on the season. Grizzlies really dominated the middle portion of the second period. Tahoe regained the lead, 15-23 in, as Jordan Gustafson scored his 3rd of the year with Devin Poliani and Nate Callan each picked up an assist, time of goal 15-23 in. 2.5 minutes later, it was Casey Bailey scoring his 15th of the year on a great pass from Luke Adam. As Adam was skating along the right wing, just kind of curled around towards Wells' net and just kind of dropped a pass right in front of the crease for Bailey. And, you couldn't have placed the pass any better. And Bailey, who's been a strong goal scorer as of late, found the puck and he fired it past Wells. Adam and Nate Callan with the assist. Callan leads Tahoe with a +13 rating on the year. The time of Bailey's goal was 18:07 in. That made it a 4-2 game, and that's where we sit after 40 minutes of play. It's been 2 power plays, and both were given to the Grizzlies. Blake Wells got a tripping minor, 3:07 into the second, and obviously the bench minor for too many on the ice, 9:06 into the Grizzlies capitalized on. So Utah's 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Tahoe's yet to go on the power play this season, and that's a good thing. I imagine one of the things they talked about before the game, the coaches Buchanan and Anderson, was Tahoe's strong power play. In fact, the Knight Monsters are second in the league with a 24.1 power play percentage on the year. You could also tell during the Grizzlies' first power play that they were very conscious of the fact that Tahoe likes to take advantage shorthanded and get those scoring chances when they can, as Tahoe is second in the league with 7 shorthanded goals. So that was something that you could tell the Grizzlies went over before the game, as once Tahoe had the puck, the Knight Monsters didn't just clear it out. They kind of raced the puck towards center ice to just try to see if they had a chance. And then the Grizzlies, they had 4 guys back at their blue line, and so Tahoe just dumped it in the rest of the way. So you could tell that that's something the Grizzlies talked about before tonight's game. So just one of those where, the Grizzlies, if they can find a way to win the special teams battle, that will certainly keep them in games this weekend. Tahoe, we mentioned it a few times already. They allow 38.5 shots per game, and so they allowed the most shots of any team in the league. And so it's not that much of a surprise that the Grizzlies have 25 shots here through 2 periods, and a lot of them have been good scoring chances. Jordan Paperny had a pretty strong year for Tahoe last season, and Paperny is off to a 7-3-0-1 start to this year. So the Grizzlies, obviously, 18 shots in the second period, and even though Tahoe is probably going to sit back a little bit, they're going to be nursing a 2-goal lead, we'll see how many good chances the Grizzlies have in the third period. Can Utah find a way to get 6 or 7 golden opportunities in the third? And if they can, I think the Grizzlies have a chance to come back in this game. Utah has been a strong third period club this season, as the Grizzlies have a third period goal in 12 of their last 13 games. And Utah has scored 21 third period goals in the last 13 games. Remember, they had the 6-goal barrage on December 21st. That Sunday afternoon before the Christmas break against the Tulsa Oilers. Utah was down 3-1 going into the third period. Then Genev scored 3 goals. John Gillette, Reed Lebster, I believe, found the back of the net that period as well. And the Grizzlies cruised to a 7-4 victory. Well, the Zambonis on the ice, second intermission as Tahoe leads Utah 4-2 as the Grizzlies got second period goals from Danny Genev and John Gillette. When we come back, we'll go over some other scores from around the world of sports. See if the Grizzlies have a third period comeback in them. They have been a strong third period club offensively over the last month or so. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise. And we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
After 2 periods, Utah trails Tahoe 4-2. Let's go over some other action across the 4-letter league. Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals defeat Adirondack 6-1. Orlando gets a 5-4 victory over Jacksonville. Tyler Bird had 2 goals for Orlando, including the game winner 7-1 into the third period. In overtime, Maine defeats Reading 4-3. Florida gets 2 goals from former Grizzly Taryn Fizer. And Will Cranley, the former Grizzly goaltender, stopped 13 of 14 as Florida defeats Worcester 4-1. Savannah defeats Guy Carenz's Atlanta Gladiators 5-2. Cody Sylvester had both of Atlanta's goals in the loss as Savannah got goals from 5 different players. Wheeling got a third period goal from Craig Armstrong as Wheeling's record goes to 23-7-1 as they defeat Trois-Rivières 4-3. Iowa defeats Toledo 2-1. As Toledo had a 30-20 shot advantage, but Iowa had 1 goal in the second and 1 in the third. Iowa 2, Toledo 1. Fort Wayne defeats Cincinnati 7-4. Fort Wayne recently signed former Grizzly Matt Berry, who's 33 years old. Berry had 2 different stints with the Grizzlies. He was with Utah during the 2015-2016 season, as well as a successful first half of the 2018-2019 campaign. Berry scored 15-24 into the third period as he scored one of Fort Wayne's 7 goals tonight. Fort Wayne 7, Cincinnati 4. Kansas City defeats Tulsa 3-2. Crawford, Cotton, and Ewens each scored a goal for Kansas City. Backanoff scored both of Tulsa's goals. Allen defeats Wichita 4-0 as the Americans got goals from 4 different players. David Tendek had a 42-save shutout. Rapid City defeats Indy 3-1 as Wagner, Tchaikovsky, and Davis each found the back of the net for Rapid City. Ponwar scored Indy's lone goal. A game that just went final, Idaho Central Arena. Greensboro gets 2 goals from Richardson as they defeat Idaho 5-3. It's been a tough go of it for Greensboro in the win-loss column as their record goes to 8-16-5-1. Idaho falls to 20-10-3. So that's the action across the 4-letter league. 3 games in the National Hockey League. I think that Utah Mammoth game is pretty close to having gone final. And that game just barely went final. And the Utah Mammoth defeat St. Louis 4-2. And we'd like to welcome those of you who had been tuned in to the Mammoth and their 4-2 victory over St. Louis as Utah has now won 3 in a row. Mammoth scored 1 goal in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. They were led by Nick Schmaltz, who had 2 goals and 1 assist. The captain, Clayton Keller, had 3 assists, and Karel Vemelka saved 26 of 28. As the Utah Mammoth come away with a 4-2 victory over the St. Louis Blues. The shot count, St. Louis actually outshot Utah 28-23. And Lawson Krause had 1 goal and 1 assist. So Utah gets the victory as their record climbs to 21-20-3. Capitals defeat the Blackhawks 5-1. Alex Ovechkin scored one of the Capital goals as he gets his 19th of the year. Ovechkin, the all-time leading goal scorer in NHL history. And the Jets get a 5-1 victory over the Kings as Mark Scheifele had 2 goals, and Jonathan Taves, the former Blackhawks legend, also found the back of the net for Winnipeg as the Jets get a 4-goal victory, 5-1 the final, as Winnipeg scored 2 goals in the first and 3 in the second. The College Football National Championship game has been set. It will be the Miami Hurricanes taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. How about this for a final score? Indiana 56, Oregon 22. As the Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza had 5 touchdown passes, and Kirk Cignetti's crew goes to 15-0 this season. They defeat Oregon in the Peach Bowl, the college football semifinal game, 56-22. So that's an interesting one in the world of college football. Remember, the national championship game will be on the same night as the ECHL All-Star Classic. That's going to be Monday, January 19th. When we come back, we'll have third period action over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Grizzlies got second period goals from Danny Genev and John Gillette, as Genev now has 12 goals this season, and John Gillette now has 6. Both of them are first-year pros. Genev played at Penn State, and John Gillette played at Holy Cross. Grizzlies looking for a third period comeback. They've got a record of 13-14-3. They've been a pretty strong road club this season. As for the Tahoe Knight Monsters, they are 18-12-1-2, and Tahoe is currently in third place in the Mountain Division standings. But remember, Idaho lost today, so a Tahoe victory means they will be 2 points behind Idaho for second place in the Mountain Division standings. We'll come back and have third period action on the other side. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
We're about set for third period action over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. We're hanging out in a dark and empty professional green studios at Maverick Center. Grizzlies are led by John Gillette and Janie Deniev, who each have 4 shots through 2 periods. And so those are the 2 goal scorers. They each lead Utah with 4 shots. And Neil Shea had 3 shots on goal. A few other Grizzlies with 2 shots, including Timofeyev, Gansky, Lebster, and Jack Ricketts. Tahoe is led by Swick and Katchek. They each have 2 shots. Tahoe's been very balanced. They've got a ton of skaters that have 1 shot on goal through 2 periods. Grizzlies have won the special teams battle. They are 1 for 2 on the power play, and they've yet to go on the penalty kill. Attendance at Tahoe Blue Event Center is announced as 3,200. Looks like, they've got a typo here on the attendance. They say attendance is 32,327. I doubt there's 32,000 in attendance over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Well, to start the third period, the Grizzlies have switched up. They've had a different forward line, I think, for each of the three periods. It looks like Riley Connors, Maxime Barbashev, and Neil Shea might be the forward line to start things here in the third period as we'll skate 5-on-5. Grizzlies will skate from right to left as we attempt to see the game on Flow Sports. We do ask for a lot of patience if you're tuned in on YouTube. Unfortunately, it's kind of like putting a puzzle together, but you only have half the pieces. So we're trying to just have some fun here tonight and trying to describe what we can see as Grizzlies. We'll have Barbashev out there with Shea, and I believe Riley Connors will take the draw to start the third period. Noah Gansky and Luke Salem will be the starting defensive pairing. In fact, Salem and Gansky will play the first shift of each of Utah's three periods here tonight. Casey Bailey will take the draw for Tahoe. He scored one of Tahoe's 4 goals. As Jake McGrew also on the ice for the Knight Monsters, as well as number 15, Jake McGrew, and Luke Adam, the Tahoe captain. Grizzlies won the draw. They get it ahead. Now back towards center ice left wing for Salem, and he'll zip the puck around the boards as puck goes back towards the left wing, as a fan is literally standing in front of the camera, blocking our view as the puck goes back deeper into the Tahoe zone. As Knight Monsters whip it back to center ice, Connors will drop it back to a spot he vacated, as the Grizzlies will skate into their own zone. Now Barbashev, he regathers the puck and gets it towards Stucker as the Grizzlies slow down shop. Stucker, rink-wide feed, goes about north-south towards Neil Shea, just at the Tahoe line. Now the Grizzlies will back it out. Hanson Bukata will bounce one towards the right wing for Shea. Shea stops in the right point. Now he feathers one across, and a score! Shea fired a prayer towards the net, and the Grizzlies cut into the lead. It's now a 4-3 game. Well, I couldn't tell if Shea scored directly or if it was a centering pass, and we tried to figure out who skated to the bench first, and all we saw was the top of their head. Unfortunately, some details are missing, and I'm not sure we're going to get a replay, but I do believe Neil Shea gets his 8th goal of the season as he just fired a prayer from the right point, and the prayer was answered. So the Grizzlies get on the board 49 seconds into the third period. It's now a 4-3 game. As I don't know if they're going to take an extra look at it on video replays. Looks like the puck is at center ice, just kind of laying there, and both teams are skating towards their respective bench areas. So it looks like there is a little bit of a delay, and I'm not sure if they're going to go to video replay, and if they do, I'm not sure if they're going to see anything. The puck is at center ice. Looked like the referee took a quick look at it, and he signals good goal. So it's a 4-3 game, as we believe Neil Shea scored his 8th of the year. We'll have to check the ECHL box score on the ECHL app to see who scored the goal. But Grizzlies with second period goals from Genev and Gillette, and we believe Neil Shea scored his 8th of the year. As Knight Monsters skate back down the middle of the ice, lefty shot, and that one goes wide. As looks like they gave the goal to Reed Lebster. It's Lebster's 16th of the year. Shea and Hanson Bukata with the assists. So according to the box score, they say that Reed Lebster redirected either a Neil Shea shot, or maybe it was a Neil Shea pass towards the middle of the ice that was intended for Lebster. Unfortunately, we got a terrible view of it. But the Grizzlies cut into the lead. It's a 4-3 game. Friesen crosses center ice, and they'll shovel it in deep to the Tahoe zone. Grizzlies make a line change as we played a minute and a half of this third period. As the Grizzlies, John Gillette drops it for Gillette, and now Genev dumps it in. Gillette behind Tahoe's net as he tried to backhand it up top towards Weinstein, and it's Sky towards the Grizzlies zone. Puck up the opposite the ankle of Noah Gansky, who gets the puck. He stops behind Wells' net. Gansky moves it towards the left wing. Genev to the middle of the ice for Ricketts. Ricketts skates down the middle, steps over the offense line, pushes to his right for Gillette. Back towards Ricketts. He's in the right corner now as he gets pushed by a Knight Monster. Ricketts gets his stick held up. Now the puck goes back in deep. Tahoe picks it off. As the Knight Monsters out towards center ice to get around Genev. Tahoe over the offensive line 3-on-3. As drifting the puck around the boards is Taylor. Salem gets cut off. As now the Knight Monsters. Blake Wells gets spun around. As Luke Salem will throw the puck towards the near boards and chase after it. Tahoe gets there before him. As the puck back behind Utah's net, Handsome Yukata, who picked up his 16th assist of the year on the Lepster goal here early in the third period. As Handsome Yukata is now tied with Geneva for the club lead in assists. As back behind Wells' net, as the puck goes towards Shea. Shea with an assist. He now has 14 on the year on the Lepster goal. And Lepster is among league leaders with 16 goals on the season. Shea, rink-wide feed in, go right, goes tape-to-tape at center ice. And puck is whipped around the board. Shea drops for Weinstein. Lefty shot. And it bounces off of Paperny's glove, stays in play. Grizzlies' sharp-angled shot hits the outside of the cage. As Colby ends, make that Stucker. Throws to the corner, back up top for Stucker. We'll move it to Weinstein on the right side. Weinstein gets it knifed away as the puck goes back to neutral ice. Grizzlies back in their own zone. Now accelerating at center ice. Left wing's Lepster gets around 2 Night Monsters before he loses control of the puck at the Tahoe blue line. Bailey over the offense line tries to get around Weinstein. Weinstein cuts off his angle. Now Weinstein pushes Bailey. Weinstein gets hit in the face with a high stick. No call. As the puck is lofted out towards center ice and a wobble deep into the Tahoe zone. Night Monsters take control of the puck. No icing on the plays. We continue to play as Night Monsters back deep in their own zone. As Tahoe, about 4 minutes into the third period, cross center ice. Bailey over the offense line. He'll push it to his left as the Grizzlies take it away. Now Tyler Gratton with the puck. He crosses center ice. Now Gratton over the offense line. The Grizzlies captain towards the right side. Backhand shot goes wide. As Gratton looking for his 7th goal of the season. He's got 6 so far this year for Utah. Now Tahoe over the offense line. They try to get around Gansky. Gansky gets his stick held up. Puck goes back to neutral ice. Tahoe leads 4-3. About 4.5 minutes into the third period. Gansky gets towards the right side. Centers to Kennedy. And the puck kicks off of Paperny's pads. The Night Monsters come back the other way. 2-on-2. As puck is dropped. Now back centering pass. Shot and a score. Poliani makes it a 5-3 game as Devin Poliani gets his 16th of the year. He swung and missed, pucking it up to the right side. They got it back towards Poliani, and he fired it past Wells. Casey Bailey, actually Poliani swung and missed, and then taking control of the puck was Swick, and then Swick dropped it back to the middle of the ice for Poliani, and Poliani fired it past Wells, and he's fired up. Kind of an odd-looking play. It was almost like the Poliani swing and a miss. It kind of turned out to be a great drop pass for Swick. And then Swick just kind of laid it back to the middle of the ice in a backhand dish towards Poliani to the middle of the ice, and then Poliani fired it past Wells. Kind of interesting on the Tahoe goals. They show multiple. I mean, like 5 or 6 replays when the Grizzlies score a goal. Nothing. 5-3 Tahoe as we're early in the third period. Grizzlies have outshot the Night Monsters 27-18. As puck now deep in the Grizzly zone. Handsome Yukata will nudge it ahead. Grizzlies get it towards Geneva. It goes past him. Tahoe over the offensive line. Night Monsters are 3rd in the league, averaging 3.58 goals per game. They've been one of the best offensive teams in the league. Swick with the lone assist. He now has a point in 7 straight games. He came in with a goal in 6 straight. Geneva crosses center ice 1-on-3. As he'll ricochet it off the stick of McCabe. Puck towards the right corner. Geneva couldn't negotiate his way around 3 Night Monsters. As Tahoe gets cut off by Geneva. Now Barbashev gets it. Drops it for Geneva. Back to the left wing. Connors with the righty shot that goes wide. And it was on a one-time attempt. And Paperny is laying. Half his body is in the net. And he's able to cover up. 14:33 is left in the third. Boy, the Grizzlies had a pretty good look in the left wing for Connors. And Connors, one-timer, he tried to go stick side on Paperny. Just missed the net. Good opportunity for the Grizzlies. As fans in Tahoe seem to be having a good time. Weather in Tahoe was low 30s for most of the day. At least that's what Google says. Connors will take the draw against Blake Wells. Both players wear number 12 for their respective clubs. Draw one by Utah. Luke Salem, left wing. His lefty shot is blocked away, and it kind of flew over Paperny. There's a puck towards the right wing. Stucker gets back to the middle of the ice. Connors, the righty shot. I'm not sure he was able to get it towards Paperny as he was back-checked. Right wing, Stucker will guide it back towards the spot he vacated. Barbashev back towards Stucker's area. Shea collected it in the corner as Stucker skated back towards the point. Now Tahoe gets the puck. They negotiate their way to center ice. And rolling it in is Connor Merritt, number 14. As Salem gets it back towards the far side for Shea. Shea with a backhand dish across to Connors, who gets on 2 skips of the ice. Connors, left point. His righty shot goes wide as he tried to go glove side on Paperny. Grizzlies round center ice. Shea will fire towards Paperny, who kicks it with his right pad. As the Night Monsters back deep in their own zone, they get it ahead to Casey Bailey at neutral ice. Bailey backhands it across. Night Monsters cross the center red line, and they'll zip it around the boards. As Bailey, right side, trying to center it. It taps off a Grizzly stick. Left wing, Night Monsters cycle it back to the right point as McGrew dances around. He gets around Gratton. Now McGrew, centering pass. Righty shot is swung and missed. Good job by Reed Lepster cutting off Tahoe's pursuit. As Lepster with his 16th goal of the year, a Night Monster goes down. Gansky behind Utah's net gets to Weinstein in the near corner. Weinstein outlets to neutral ice as he was looking to get it towards Friesen. Now Lepster right wing. Righty shot bounces off of Paperny. Now Lepster gets it back. Skates towards the left side. As he gets pinned to the boards, Lepster goes down on a hit from Brendan Dowler. Dowler making his Tahoe debut. He signed earlier today. Stucker back towards Lepster. One-timer, and his stick breaks as the stick goes flying in two. As his equipment let him down. And so he'll get a new stick from DJ McFarland, the first-year head equipment manager. As John Gillette, left wing, skates towards left goal line as he gets pushed from behind Tahoe's net. Gillette gets back to his feet. Gustafson feeds back behind Tahoe's net. Right wing, lefty shot saved by Paperny. Now the puck goes back towards the right corner. Swick will sky it out to center ice, gloved and dropped at center ice by Hanson Mukata. AHB will guide it towards his right. Stucker gets around one skater. Now Stucker over the offensive line, skates towards the right circle as Stucker fires a sharp-angled shot that hits the side of the net. It almost looked like he was trying to bounce it off the back of Paperny's pads into the back of the Tahoe net. Now the Night Monsters 2-on-1. Left wing, lefty shot, and Wells might have gotten a piece of it as it goes out of play off the protective netting. 11:53 left in the third period. As Reed Lepster scored 49 seconds into the third, and Tahoe responded as Pugliani got his 16th of the year from Swick. It's Tahoe 5, Utah 3. We're back in 1 minute. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Eleven minutes, 57 seconds left in the third period. Tahoe leads Utah 5-3. As the Grizzlies are out shooting the Night Monsters 32-20. Faceoffs in the Grizzlies zone over in the far circle. Utah skating from right to left as we try to see the game on Flow Sports. Nobody so far with a multiple point game for Utah. As the Grizzlies have goals from Danny Genev, John Gillette, and Reed Lepster. Lepster scored 49 seconds into the third period with Hanson Mukata and Shea gained the assists. Shea with the main assist. He now has 14 helpers on the year, and Hanson Mukata now has 16 assists on the year, which is tied for Geneva for the club lead. Connors crouches down, takes a draw, but it's won by O'Leary of Tahoe. As the Night Monsters skate around Wells' net. Now reversing his field is Adam Pitters, who tried to skate back towards the far side. As Barbashev gets the puck, he'll backhand it across. Connors accepts he skates towards the left wing, skates towards the left circle, takes a righty shot. And that one's blocked away by Paperny. And it flies out of play with 11:39 left in the third. Boy, Connors with a couple good looks here in the third period. Looks like that one might have gone on towards Paperny. Couldn't quite tell where the puck ended up. Weinstein cut towards the front of the net to try to screen the goaltender Paperny. But it stays a 5-3 game. It's an offensive zone draw. Connors will take the face-off. Like Connors had quite a few good looks here in the third period. A couple of them he'd love to have back. Like Riley Connors has been strong for the Grizzlies over the last couple of weeks. He started the year in the AHL with the Colorado Eagles and had 2 goals in 9 games. Tahoe with the puck after they won the face-off as they skate in from the left wing. They tried to dump it in, but Stucker took it away. Now Tahoe gets it back as Connors on the back check regathered the puck. Moving out towards center ice for Danny Genev. Grizzlies going with an odd number of forwards. So the forward lines have been kind of mixed and matched here from time to time. As Neil Shea out to neutral ice. As he tried to saucer one towards Friesen and went past him. As Friesen was being occupied by former Grizzly Blake Wells. The puck went all the way down for a Utah icing. There's 11:10 left in the third period. Grizzlies in their 8th season as an affiliate of the Colorado Avalanche and the Tahoe Knight Monsters. In their 2nd year of existence, they're affiliated with the Vegas Golden Knights. And obviously, the AHL affiliate is the Henderson Silver Knights. So I thought it'd be a nice idea, whoever the ECHL affiliate of the Golden Knights and Silver Knights are, that they should be named the Bronze Knights. Just kind of going with an Olympic theme, but they went with Night Monsters, and that's a pretty good choice over in State Line, Nevada. Building that holds about 4,300 or so. Does look like a nice building, though. Off the draw, left wing, righty shot, and that's blocked before it gets towards Wells. As there was a lot of traffic and bodies over in the left circle as the Night Monsters roll it back to the right corner. Loose puck as Stucker tried to one-hand it towards Shea. Now the puck goes back to Stucker, who's now spent about a month with the Grizzlies after being acquired in a trade with Reading. 2nd stint with Utah. Puck goes back to Stucker's behind Utah's net. Stuckler dangling back and forth, and he'll tap it off the glass. It goes out towards center ice. Stuckler, I imagine that's been a nickname at some point. Hey, the English language is hard sometimes. As Tahoe feeds it back up top. Right point. McCabe gets it back in deep. Bailey gets occupied by Hanson Bukata. Puck back to the left corner. 2-on-2 scrum. Grizzlies come out with a puck. Utah will slide it towards center ice to nobody in particular as Tahoe gets it back at their blue line. As McCabe will feed it back towards the near circle. McCabe in his Tahoe debut, and it looks like he's been pretty good. As McCabe ahead towards Bailey at center ice. Bailey gets cut off by Kennedy in his Grizzlies debut, and Kennedy's been impressive. Kennedy with a big hit in front of Utah's bench. 6 feet, 190 pounds. Played in the SPHL at Birmingham. Grizzlies out to center ice as Gansky gets it towards Kennedy, and Kennedy will feed it behind Tahoe's net. Gratton in the area. Kennedy joins the play, gets tripped up, gets towards Ricketts. Now Kennedy gets it back in the left corner. Sean Kennedy dances around, gets it to the corner, back for Ricketts. Ricketts dancing back and forth in the left corner as he's being shadowed by Bailey. And now Ricketts will skate slowly towards left point, drops it back, looking for Gratton, who lets it go. Tahoe gets control of the puck. Kennedy hacks away at Tahoe. Puck goes back to center ice. Like Kennedy looks like he's a pretty good signing for the Grizzlies. He had a good year in the SPHL. As the Night Monsters out towards center ice, they will sky it to the Grizzlies bench. And it's gloved by Noah Gansky in the Grizzlies bench. That stops play with 9:17 left in the third. Grizzlies looking for a comeback. Tahoe leads 5-3. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
So faceoffs can be at center ice. There's 9:17 left in the third period, and the Grizzlies trail 5-3. Utah's outshot Tahoe 32-21. Shea, Lebster, Gillette, and Genev each have 4 shots. Riley Connors also with 4 shots. So 5 different Grizzlies with 4 shots on goal. As Utah has second period goals from Danny Geneva and John Gillette, and a third period goal from Reed Lepster. As puck deep in the Grizzlies zone, they skate from right to left as we try to see the game on Flow Sports. Puck to neutral ice. Grizzlies take it as Jack Ricketts crosses center ice, and he'll wheel it around the boards. Puck goes towards the right corner deep in the Tahoe zone. Now to center ice. Now, Grizzlies. Jack Ricketts was at the middle of the ice and tried to fire away. Tahoe gave a fan a souvenir from their own zone as the puck goes out of play, and it's going to be a Utah power play as the Knight Monsters were in their own zone, and they skied it towards the spectator area. And so it looks like it's going to be Utah's third power play of the contest. As it seemed like all three officials make the delay of game signal. But it's more important that we see the two fans between the Tahoe and Utah bench. So there's 8:50 left in the third. Draw's going to be in the Tahoe zone. And we're not sure who's in the box for Tahoe, but I believe they're serving a delay of game minor. It looks like number 5, Kalen Taylor, is in the box, serving penalty minutes 15 and 16 on the year. We'll see if Utah can get their second power play goal of the night. With the early third period goal by Reed Lepster, Utah now has the third period goal in 13 of their last 14 games. So draw's going to be over in the left circle. As Jack Ricketts will take the draw. Watch out for Nil Shea, has 4 power play goals this season. Aiden Hans-Bukata with 8 power play assists. Tahoe wins the draw as they try to get around Grattan, it's going to be a penalty on Grattan. As they stop play, 6 seconds into the power play, Grattan was battling for a puck with a Tahoe player at the right goal line. Grattan just kind of spun around the Tahoe player, and referee Emil Sharon was right there to make the call. And Tyler Grattan, the second-year pro, can't believe it. He's going to the box. So that's Utah's first penalty of the game. But instead of Tahoe getting a power play, we'll skate 4-on-4. Grizzlies twice this season have scored on 4-on-4 situations. But remember, one of those was on a delayed penalty. And that was this past Saturday against Wichita. So the ice opens up a little bit. Can the Grizzlies utilize their speed? Jack Ricketts will take the draw against Mike O'Leary. Face-off won by Utah as Weinstein skates around Wells' net. Now he stops. Weinstein, an outstanding skater. He'll drop it for Nil Shea like a bolt of lightning across the center ice as he streaks along the left wing. Shea with the lefty shot saved by Paperny. Puck bounces towards the left corner as Shea had a glance off his stick behind Tahoe's net. Knight Monsters come back the other way. Tahoe crosses center ice to dump it in as Weinstein drops it back for Hans-Bukata, who shovels it out to center ice. Grizzlies will guide it towards the bench area. Weinstein gets it off the boards. Now Sage Weinstein surrounded by 3 Knight Monsters. He'll push it towards the Tahoe backboards. The Knight Monsters get it back. Genev takes it away from a Knight Monster. And now Pitters and Genev battle. Puck goes back towards the left corner. And the Knight Monsters is Brendan Kapchek. Kapchek being chased by Genev. Kapchek will drop it back as the Knight Monsters slowly get it back to neutral ice. Genev takes it away. Genev in the Tahoe zone, look to center it, and it bounced off a Knight Monster stick as the Grizzlies retreat defensively. It's Tahoe very patient in their own zone. Skating 4-on-4 for the next 45 seconds. Tahoe leads 5-3. Knight Monsters saucer it in from center ice. Wells lets it go around the roulette wheel as Genev will back in it towards center ice. Lepster gets the puck. He's got 1 goal tonight, 16 on the year. He'll drop it for Genev. Left wing, lefty shot saved by Paperny. Rebound goes towards Casey Bailey of Tahoe. And Bailey will stop behind his net, and he'll drop it off as Bailey's at the end of his shift. As Tahoe is deep in their own zone, Nate Callum ring around the goaltenders. He skates around his goaltender, Paperny, a couple times. Now he feeds a left wing pass to center ice. Tahoe over the offensive line. McCabe onside. He'll drop as the Knight Monsters overskate it. Now Hans-Bukata across the center ice. He'll zip one towards his right for Barbashev. Barbashev gets around Callum. Lefty shot saved by Paperny. Rebound goes back towards Tahoe. Knight Monsters get it ahead. Fresh out of the box. Taylor skates in. Lefty shot. And that one goes wide. Wells might have gotten a piece of it with his blocker as it's still a 5-3 game. Now Grattan's out of the box. We're skating 5-on-5. Connors over the offensive line, surrounded by 3 Knight Monsters on the back check. Tahoe took it away. Gustafson backhands it towards the bench area. As the puck lifts in the air, it's gloved and dropped by Tahoe. Skating towards a corner and stopping. Can't quite tell who that is. It goes back towards the right point. Now the Night Monsters get it across. Righty shot's blocked. Puck towards the right corner. Good job by John Gillette playing the angle on where Adam Pitters wanted to go with the puck. Now the puck goes back towards the far wing. About 6 minutes left in regulation. As 5-3 Tahoe's, the Grizzlies are looking for a comeback bid. Weinstein out to center ice for Connors, and Connors will plop it deep into the Night Monster zone at the end of his shift as both teams are hit the reset button. Night Monsters skate back in as Derflinger will feed it towards the far corner. Grizzlies come back with it, skating from right to left. Over to the center ice area. Friesen dumps it in, chasing after its Ricketts. Genev at the end of his shift will skate off. Genev with 1 goal tonight. He has 12 on the season. As puck goes back towards the left wing. Action in the Tahoe zone. Kennedy trying to fire towards the net, and that looked like it got blocked before it got to Paperny. Puck slides to the Utah line. Salem accepts it. Salem will drift it towards his right. Grizzlies get it off the boards. Genev skates back towards the right side. Now he tried to drop it back for Kennedy. Kennedy gets cut off. Now Genev gets held up along the boards by Kapchek as Kennedy joins the play. As Kennedy takes a seat as Blake Wells holds down Kennedy. And now Kennedy gets back to his feet, still being held on by Wells. 3-on-3 scrum. And the referee blows the whistle and stops play with 4 minutes and 56 seconds left in the third. Both teams have 1 goal in the final frame. Tahoe 5, Utah 3. We're back in 1 minute to find out how this one ends on the other side. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Four minutes and 57 seconds left in the third period. Grizzlies have outshot Tahoe 32-20. It's the Night Monsters have a 5-3 lead. Draws in the Tahoe zone, right side. Grizzlies talking things over. Reed Lubster out there with Neil Shea. And Jack Ricketts. So Grizzlies have 4 forwards on the ice. And I wonder if they've pulled Wells for the extra attacker. There's 4:57 left in the third. There's 4 different forwards on the ice right now for Utah. It does look like John Buchanan is rolling the dice, if you will. As a draw won by Utah, but it goes between the 2 players up top, and it is 6-on-5 with Utah's net empty with just under 5 minutes left in regulation. Puck is skied towards the Grizzlies zone. Hanson Bukata, north-south pass off a couple sticks. Shea near the Grizzlies bench. Gets to center ice for Gratton. Gratton gets around 2 Night Monsters. Left wing, he fires lefty shot wide. Grizzlies get it back towards Shea just outside the left circle. He stops, feeds up top to Hanson Bukata, back to Shea. Shea will bounce one off the boards back to Hanson Bukata, who skates towards his right. Now he feeds towards Lebster. Back to Hanson Bukata. Over to Shea, left circle all alone. Toe drag, lefty shot, and a save by Paperny. Boy, we had to stop for a second to figure out where the puck ended up. There were about 5 people in front of the crease. There's 4 Night Monsters, and Shea tried to thread the needle right over the right shoulder of Paperny. And it appears the Tahoe goaltender made the save with 4:14 left in the third. Everybody just kind of stopped for a little bit, and the referee put his arm in the air to stop play. So the Grizzlies will switch up skaters. As Evan Friesen will take the draw. John Gillette on the ice. He had a second period goal. Noah Gansky out there as well. Looks like Maxim Barbashev on the ice. That's 4 of the 6. As draw one by Tahoe. Back towards the far corner. They sky it to the empty net. And it goes wide. Icing on Tahoe as Stucker skated over there. As Emil Sharon raised his right arm in the air. So draw's going to be back in the right circle. Connors will take the face-off. He's in his first full season as a pro. And Gustafson will take the draw for Tahoe. Gustafson is one of the 5 Tahoe goals. Knight Monsters get to the near corner, and they'll sail it all the way to the empty net, and it's a score. As lights go flickering back and forth, and it's now a 6-3 game. This baby's probably in the refrigerator. As the Knight Monsters score from about 200 feet out. You can't quite tell. It might be McCabe, the new defenseman, who just skied it. And that is Poliani. Looks like Poliani's the one that scored the empty net goal. It's his second goal of the night and 17th of the year. So it's the Knight Monsters 6 and the Grizzlies 3. As well as now back in net. Just not the Grizzlies' night. And unfortunately, defensively, the Grizzlies are pretty strong in the defensive unit first couple months of the season. We are talking about a tough 3-game stretch. As puck's at neutral ice, Kennedy whips it around the boards. Kennedy has 2 shots on goal. Last Friday, January 2nd, Grizzlies lost 7-6 in overtime and then lost 6-1 this past Saturday. So Grizzlies have given up 19 goals in the last 3 games. And this is a team that's a pretty strong defensive unit, but a few injuries and guys that, are playing less than 100%, and it's just kind of caught up to Utah. Stucker off the offensive line, gets around 1. Now he looked to center it, but it's sticked away by Tahoe. Now Friesen back towards the left corner. About 3 minutes left in regulation. As Tahoe gets the puck, they'll race out towards neutral ice. As Knight Monsters move it ahead, it's tapped off the skate of O'Leary. As puck's now back to Utah, they're in their own zone, skating from right to left. Barbashev, rink-wide feed, angle right. Over to Shea, and Shea bounces it in. As Knight Monsters have time on their side. Poliani scored with Gustafson getting the lone assist. Now Tahoe, right side, shot saved by Wells. He holds on with 2:36 left in the third. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. So Gustafson now with 1 goal and 1 assist tonight. Tahoe leads 6-3 with 2:36 left in the third. Same teams tomorrow night. Face-offs at 8 o'clock here in the Mountain Time Zone. Pre-game coverage will begin at 7:50. As Friesen will take the draw against Mike O'Leary. As puck is skied to center ice after the draw. Grattan in the area. Now it's taken back by Derflinger, who scored the first goal of the night for Tahoe. Grizzlies get it back in. As towards the left corner, Grattan skates after it. Now Derflinger gets control of the puck. He's got good speed. He'll move it to the middle of the ice and come off for a change. Tahoe crosses center, and they'll zip it in. As taking the puck is Weinstein with about 2 minutes left in the third. Sage Weinstein with 1 assist tonight. Now has 2 on the season. The 20-year-old who's got an NHL deal with the Colorado Avalanche. Weinstein dangling back and forth behind his net. Now with a strong outlet pass angle left towards Lebster. Lebster crosses center ice. He'll get it in. It's Knight Monsters back behind their own net. Minute 45 left in regulation. I mentioned the Grizzlies should get a lot of good scoring chances, and they certainly have against Paperny and the Knight Monsters. As Tahoe allows 38.5 shots per game, and the Grizzlies have taken about 36 over the last 15 games. And the Grizzlies right now at 34 shots. So they're probably right about on target for what they would normally think about getting against this Tahoe team. As puck behind Tahoe's net. Now the Knight Monsters get it towards Collins. Collins has been in this league for about a decade. Hanson Bukanda will slide it back in. As Grizzlies are in the middle of a line change. Ricketts challenges Tahoe with about a minute left in regulation. As Knight Monsters will bounce off a Grizzly stick. Utah head off a stick towards Ricketts. Ricketts battles with Bailey at the Tahoe line. Now the puck goes back towards the Knight Monsters. 55 seconds left. Tahoe zips it ahead. Puck goes towards McGrew. Jake's his first name, native of California. He collides with Stucker. Now the Grizzlies with a strong outlet pass. It goes past everybody and all the way down for a Utah icing as the whistle blows with 44 seconds left in regulation. But interestingly enough, the Grizzlies didn't have a full 2-minute penalty kill. They were pretty disciplined tonight, and considering that Tahoe is the second-best power play in the league, they knew that was something the Grizzlies were talking about before the game. Something they needed to do is stay out of the box, and for the most part, they did a great job of it. As Grizzlies did get a power play goal, but just too much Knight Monsters in 5-on-5 situations. They lead 6-3, puck towards Wells, 27 seconds left. And Tahoe with the victory. Their record will go to 19-12-1-2, and the Grizzlies will fall to 13-15-3. As puck bounces off the far boards, taking it is Trent Zwick. Looks like Zwick's 6-game goal-scoring streak will come to an end, but he did pick up a third-period assist as his point streak extends to 7 straight. 4 seconds left. Knight Monsters deep in their own zone. Grizzlies got second-period goals from Danny Genev and John Gillette and an early third-period goal from Reed Webster. The Tahoe Knight Monsters get a 6-3 victory, and with that, plenty of fake fish are thrown on the ice. A couple water bottles are being thrown on the ice as well. Fans are taking whatever trash they had in front of them, and they're throwing it on the ice. As Grizzlies will skate towards the locker room, the Knight Monsters will celebrate with their fans. Final score, Tahoe 6, Utah 3. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
That was the first of 9 meetings this season between the Grizzlies and Knight Monsters. And Tahoe gets a 6-3 victory. Tahoe scored 2 goals in the first half of the first period. Jake Derflinger scored from the right wing, 4:37 in. It was his 3rd goal of the year. McCabe and O'Leary with the assists. And then Blake Wells, the former Grizzly. He played 4 games with Utah over the last 2 seasons. He was on the Grizzlies roster for all of last season, but was injured for most of the year. He scored his first pro goal, 9:04 in, with Brendan Dowler in his Tahoe debut gained the lone assists. Both teams had 7 shots in the first period, and Tahoe had a 2-0 lead after 1. Grizzlies really climbed back and played well in the middle portion of the second period. Danny Genev got his 12th of the year with Luke Salem picking up the lone assist. It was a toe drag from the left wing, and Genev fired a lefty shot past Paperny. Earlier this week, Genev was named to the league's all-star team, which is certainly deserving, and Genev once again had a good game for Utah. He had 5 shots on goal, which was time for the club lead, and Danny Genev scored Utah's first goal, 6:47 into the second. John Gillette tied it up on a power play goal. There was 1 second left in the power play. Utah got a centering pass towards him, and he fired a beautiful backhand shot past Paperny. 11:05 in, Sage Weinstein and Maxime Barbashev each picked up the assists. Talking about a turning point in the game, it happened in the final 5 minutes of the second period where Tahoe scored twice. Jordan Gustafson scored his 3rd of the year, 15:23 in, with Pugliani and Callan getting the assists. And then later on, in the goal that turned out to be the game winner, Luke Adam was along the right wing, the veteran who spent some time in the NHL with Buffalo, skated around a couple Grizzlies, and he just kind of fed the perfect pass out in front of the crease towards Casey Bailey. And Bailey, the reigning league player of the week, fired it past Wells to make it a 4-2 Tahoe game. That was 18:07 into the second, and that turned out to be the game winner. Grizzlies got on the board in the first minute of the third period as Reed Webster got his 16th of the year. Neil Shea and Aiden Hanson-Buchanan with the assists. Unfortunately, we didn't get much of a view of the goal as Shea just was in the right point, just kind of fired a prayer towards the net. There was about 5 or 6 bodies out in front, and it looked like Reed Lepster got a piece of it and found the back of the net for the 16th time this year. Lepster came into play, tied for 4th in the league in goals. Now, the league lead for goals, I think, was just 16, maybe 17 at the most. And so Reed Lepster climbs closer to the league lead in goals. He now has 16 on the year. Neil Shea's been a point machine for the Grizzlies. He now has a point in 17 of his last 20 games. And Aiden Hanson-Buchanan now has 16 assists on the year. And Hanson-Buchanan and Danny Genev are now tied for the club lead as each have 16 assists. And now Hanson-Buchanan is among league leaders in terms of rookies in assists. So that was an even strength goal, 49 seconds into the third period as some of Utah's big guns get on the board. Tahoe scored an insurance goal, 4:34 in, as Poliani got his 16th of the year. And the assist went to Trent Swick. Kind of an odd-looking play towards the middle of the ice. Poliani swung and missed. Swick took the puck. He was in the right circle. And just kind of backhanded it towards the middle of the ice for Poliani. And Poliani was able to fire a righty shot past Dylan Wells. That was 4:34 into the third period. So with that, Trent Swick didn't score a goal, so his goal-scoring streak ends at 6, but his point-scoring streak extends to 7. And then Poliani scored from about 200 feet away on an empty net, 16:01 into the third period, as Utah did pull Wells with just under 4 minutes left in regulation. The lone assist went to Jordan Gustafson, who ended the night with 1 goal and 1 assist. So that made it a 6-3 game, and that's where it ended. The Grizzlies did win the special teams battle. They were 1 for 3 on the power play. They're officially listed as being 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. It was a very abbreviated penalty kill as Taylor got a delay of game minor 11-10 into the third period, and then 6 seconds later, Tyler Granton got a holding minor 11-16 in. So just one of those that kind of a tough break, but the Grizzlies did win the special teams battle, which obviously you'd love to do against a Tahoe team that's second in the league on the power play. Reed Lepster and Danny Genev each had 5 shots. Neil Shea, Riley Connors, and John Gillette each had 4 shots. And nobody for Utah had a multiple-point game, as obviously Utah got goals from Genev, Gillette, and Lepster, and 1 assist each from Luke Salem, Sage Weinstein, as well as Hanson-Buchanan, Neil Shea, and Maxime Barbashev. Sean Kennedy made his Grizzlies debut. He had 2 shots on goal and looked like he certainly belonged. Looked like a guy who can win the 50-50 pucks. Looked like he had a pretty decent amount of quickness, and he seemed to win a few faceoffs for the Grizzlies tonight. So I'm really intrigued as to what Sean Kennedy can bring to the lineup. As one observer, one viewer had mentioned, didn't see Stepan Timofeyev in the third period, or at least for much of the third. So hopefully he's okay. The Grizzlies were rolling with 17 skaters tonight. And so hopefully Timofeyev, didn't see him much in the third period, if at all. And hopefully he'll be okay. Hopefully he's all right. He was a +1 and had 2 shots tonight. Colby Enns found a way to be a positive in the plus-minus category. He came into play leading Utah with a +6 rating. And Colby Enns had 1 shot and was a +1 for Utah. So 2 guys were a plus in the plus-minus. That was Enns and Timofeyev. But as you mentioned, not sure we saw Timo there in the third period. So hopefully he's all right. Grizzlies did outshoot Tahoe 34-23. But it's just one of those, Tahoe was able to get those grade A chances, and they were able to find a way to capitalize on them. For the Grizzlies, obviously, if they want to have some success later on in this road trip, and obviously with the homestand next week against a good Kansas City club, Grizzlies are going to have to find a way to buckle down defensively, as they have allowed 19 goals in their last 3 games. For a club that really prides itself on being strong on the defensive side of things, obviously if the Grizzlies are going to want to have some success later on this weekend, they're going to have to find a way to buckle down defensively against a pretty strong Tahoe club who's third in the league in goals per game at 3.58. With the loss, Grizzlies' record falls to 13-15-3. In Tahoe, they've been a strong first-period club. They have outscored opponents 40-14 in the first periods this season. Actually 40-24 in the first periods this year, which is still a plus 16. They're able to play with the lead as Grizzlies did tie it up at 2 halfway through the second period, but then 2 unanswered for Tahoe, and the Grizzlies were back to playing catch-up going into the third period. So see what happens tomorrow as the Grizzlies will be back at it for the second of a 3-game series. And thanks for sticking with us. If you're watching on Flow Sports, basically that one feed that they were showing is the same feed that I was trying to describe the game off of. And boy, for me, this is not some fun little hobby. I'm trying to make a living, and boy, it's difficult when you're trying to put the pieces together and you don't have, you're trying to put together a puzzle and you don't have half the pieces. It was unbelievable how bad that video feed was tonight. So hopefully be a little bit better tomorrow. We tried to do the best we could with what we were given, but it just wasn't much. Grizzlies put together a pretty good effort in spurts tonight. Just couldn't find a way to put together a full 60 minutes. And hopefully we'll have some new camera operators and a new video producer, and hopefully we'll have something better to look at here tomorrow as we tried to do the best we could and have a little bit of fun along the way. But on the ice, Grizzlies just had good moments, but Tahoe really showed why they had a winning record last year and why they've got a winning record this year. They've got a pretty strong offensive club, and it was just unbelievable on this Flow Sports feed. It was just, we tried to do the best we could with what we were given. What's the old saying about life giving you lemons? We just tried to make some lemonade tonight, with this video feed. But and we'll get back at it tomorrow, 7:50 pregame show, 8:05 face-off, as Tahoe is the only team in this league in the Pacific time zone. They didn't used to call this league the East Coast Hockey League for nothing. So we'll come back tomorrow and see if the Grizzlies can even things up against the Tahoe Knight Monsters. Time of game was 2 hours and 28 minutes. The attendance, they've got a typo on the attendance total over in Tahoe. They say there was over 32,000 in attendance at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Now the typo's been corrected. 3,237 were at Tahoe Blue Event Center tonight as the Knight Monsters defeat the Grizzlies 6-3. 3 stars of the game before we head out. Third star is Jordan Paperny, the goaltender. He saved 31 of 34. Second star is Jordan Gustafson. He had 1 goal and 1 assist and was a +3. The number 1 star is Devon Poliani, who had 2 goals and 1 assist. He was a +2 and had 3 shots. That is the 3 stars of the game. Grizzlies got goals from Danny Genev, John Gillette, and Reed Lepster. Just too much Tahoe offensively as they get a 6-3 victory. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, not necessarily the final outcome. Once again, in 2 hours and 29 minutes, in front of a modest crowd of 3,237, Tahoe comes away with a 6-3 victory. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday get to the National Hockey League. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.